About International Yoga Day celebrations, our finest team of reporters on ground, Rahul Kanwal and Geeta Mohan and Shweta Singh joining us, Akshita.
You know, I'm reminded of something that the Prime Minister said a few years ago when he referred to yoga, Gaurav. Yoga belongs to everyone. Everyone belongs to yoga, and I think today you're seeing a fitting display of that coming true at the UN headquarters. I hope you did your asanas this morning, Gaurav.
So, you know, yoga is something that I really need to practice a lot more. But for the moment, let's quickly cut across and listen in to Prime Minister Narendra Modi, his message on the 9th International Yoga Day.
योग एक वैश्विक आंदोलन बन गया है, ग्लोबल स्पिरिट बन गया है। साथियों, इस साल योग दिवस के कार्यक्रमों को ओशन रिंग ऑफ योगा इसने और विशेष बना दिया है। ओशन रिंग ऑफ योगा, इसका आइडिया योग के विचार और समुद्र के विस्तार के पारस्परिक संबंध पर आधारित है। योग के इस अनूठे सेलिब्रेशन में देश दुनिया के करोड़ों लोगों का इतने सहज स्वरूप में शामिल होना योग के प्रसार और प्रसिद्धि को, उसके महात्म्य को उजागर करता है। भारतीय समय के अनुसार शाम 5:30 बजे करीब संयुक्त राष्ट्र यूएन के मुख्यालय में जो विशाल मात्रा में योग कार्यक्रम हो रहा है, मैं उसमें शामिल होऊंगा। भारत के आह्वान पर दुनिया के 180 से ज्यादा देशों का एक साथ आना ऐतिहासिक है, अभूतपूर्व है।
What's absolutely amazing, Akshita, is the fact that the Prime Minister is leading the charge. He's taking India's cultural heritage across the world in such a big way, from the North Pole to the South Pole, from the Arctic to the Antarctica. You have yoga being practiced today, both the poles of the earth. That message of yoga goes out.
And you know, drawing from India's ancient culture, from our ancient civilization, something that the world today is celebrating. In every corner of the world, Gaurav, you will see people now performing yoga, knowing the benefits of yoga and knowing, very importantly, that this is an Indian practice that's truly become global right now. And that's the power of something like an International Yoga Day being observed. It's beyond symbolism now. The fact that at the UN headquarters, you're going to have participants from 180 nations coming together with the Prime Minister there performing yoga. We're being told the event itself could go on for 2 hours. That tells you the power that yoga has had across the world, the impact it's had, and why it's so important to talk about that as well. But on the ground, what's the mood? Well, the Indian diaspora is pumped. As I said, there are participants from different nations coming together. But let's tell you first about the emotions that are running through the Indian diaspora as the Prime Minister is in America.
देखिए, हमारे लिए इतनी गौरव की बात है कि आज एक महायोगी के साथ योग करने का अवसर हमें मिला है और उन्होंने योग को अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर पर जो नाम दिया है, वो हमारे लिए बहुत ही गौरवान्वित मोमेंट है हमारे लिए। और मैं तो यही कहूँगी कि केसरिया रंग प्यार वाला, हरा रंग हरियाली का, श्वेत रंग है शांति का प्रतीक, जो करे सबका सम्मान। हम उस भारत की संतान, हम उस भारत की संतान।
हम लोग यहाँ पे आए हैं प्रधानमंत्री मोदी जी के साथ योगा करने के लिए। हम लोग बहुत एक्साइटेड हैं। ये हमारी खुश नसीबी है कि न्यूयॉर्क में हमारे प्रधानमंत्री के साथ हमें ये मौका मिला। इससे ज़्यादा हम खुशकिस्मत हो ही नहीं सकते हैं। हम भगवान का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करते हैं कि आज मोदी जी जिस मुकाम पे इंडिया को लेके आए हैं, हम लोग सब बहुत बहुत प्राउड करते हैं। थैंक यू सो मच मोदी जी। लव यू, लव यू, लव यू।
So the Indian Americans are very excited, and they have been, each time Prime Minister Narendra Modi is in the United States of America, whether it was the Madison Square Garden in 2014 or the NRG Stadium at Houston, Texas in 2019. And, we were reporting both these
You
events.
were there, Gaurav.
I was there both at the Madison Square Garden and at the NRG Stadium, and the excitement is palpable. In fact, several American political leaders, both times, they were actually asking these questions. How is it that so many people take time out of their busy schedules in the United States of America and make time for such an event? But that is the kind of electricity you see in these places, Akshita.
I think very often they're astounded. They're left, in awe at the popularity that the Prime Minister really manages to evoke in these kind of countries. And it's not just America, is it, Gaurav? I'm sure in every single part of the world that you've gone to cover the Prime Minister's visit, the Indian diaspora's gung-ho. They gather outside his hotel to catch a glimpse of the Prime Minister. Yes, we saw that even when the Prime Minister reached his hotel in New York City. People were there looking for autographs just for one handshake with the Prime Minister. So the Indian diaspora always super excited, always geared up to welcome the Prime Minister on their soil. Shweta Singh is also out there on the ground. Here's what some of the Indian diaspora members out there waiting for a chance to catch a glimpse of Prime Minister, waiting for a chance to perform yoga with him, have to say.
आज गौरव महसूस कर रही हूँ। बहुत गौरव की बात है कि आज एक महायोगी के साथ हम योग के लिए यहाँ आए हैं, जिन्होंने हमारे योग को अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर तक यहाँ पहुँचाया है। अपने देश के लिए यही कहना चाहूँगी कि केसरिया प्यार दिलों में भर दे, अमन खुशहाली की प्रतीक श्वेतता, हरा रंग खुशहाली का, जो समझे सबको एक समान, उस भारत की हैं हम संतान, उस भारत की हैं हम संतान।
देखिए, भारत में भले ही आज योग दिवस जो है, अब योग संध्या हो चुकी है, वहां पर उसकी शुरुआत हो रही है, लेकिन यहाँ पर सुबह सवेरे सब लोग यहाँ पर निकल कर आए हैं और सब आज यहाँ मिलकर, अच्छा बच्चे भी आए हैं,
बच्चे भी खड़े हैं, देखें, कम ऑन गर्ल्स, कम हियर।
तो सब यहाँ पर आए हैं, सब योग करना है सबको प्रधानमंत्री से।
जी हाँ, बिल्कुल। माई सेल्फ इज डॉक्टर नीता जैन। आई एम a democratic district leader from Queens here in New York, and this is all my group. We are all very excited to participate in yoga. This is the 9th year, and I'm a part of this International Yoga Day of Yoga with government since its inception for last 9 years.
प्रधानमंत्री ने भी जब योग के बारे में पूरी दुनिया को संदेश देने की शुरुआत की, तो उन्होंने अपनी तरफ से ये स्पष्ट किया था कि योग दरअसल एक उपहार स्वरूप देखिए भारतीय संस्कृति का। और आज जब यहाँ पर अंतर्राष्ट्रीय योग दिवस का आयोजन हो रहा है, सेलिब्रेशन हो रहा है, नारा लगाना चाहते हैं आप लोग? कुछ योग का नारा बनाएं?
चाहती हूँ। आज का दिन जून 21 इज ए वेरी बिग डे। मोदी जी ऑफ कोर्स आए हुए हैं यहाँ पे, एंड आज का बहुत बड़ा दिन है। सो एंड थैंक यू फॉर मोदी जी कमिंग एंड विजिटिंग अस। मोदी 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 मोदी।
लगता है आज तो भारत की
या मोदी, हम लोग इतने एक्साइटेड हैं, पूछो मत। हमारे भारत के
मातरम,
भारत माता की जय,
भारत माता की जय, भारत माता की जय।
तो यहाँ से जो उद्घोष है,
आपको भी मिल पाए आज, वो हमारा बहुत सौभाग्य है।
जो भारत का उद्घोष है यहाँ से दुनिया के कोने कोने में पहुंचे, यही कोशिश यहाँ पर जितने भी योग दिवस में शामिल होने, समारोह में हिस्सा लेने के लिए लोग आए।
And Akshita, that's the excitement in the air, these chants of Bharat Mata Ki Jai. You hear it, when you're reporting on defense or the security forces, whether it's high in the Himalayas or in the Indian Ocean or anywhere. But here it's the common Indian Americans, often described as the glue that binds the two countries together, Akshita.
I think they've, got this opportunity to showcase their patriotism, showcase their Indianness. And that's what they're really doing. Imagine they're standing there for hours together, Gaurav, waiting to be there, waiting for this opportunity to show off the Prime Minister, to talk to him and get a chance to converse with him.
Oh, absolutely. So what's happening in the north lawns of the United Nations headquarters? In about an hour from now, the Prime Minister will lead the celebrations, and this is huge. This is truly unprecedented. It truly is historic. We bring you this report.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi's yoga diplomacy.
अभ्यास करेंगे
Get set for the Prime Minister to lead the world this Yoga Day, as he will perform yoga this year with people from over 180 nations at the UN headquarters. Diplomats, academicians, entrepreneurs. They will all join Prime Minister Modi at the UN lawns to perform yoga on the occasion of the 9th International Yoga Day. Hectic preparations are underway as the Prime Minister will take part in 1-hour yoga performance in the North Lawns of the UN headquarters in New York, from the very premises that he first pitched the idea of an International Yoga Day 9 years ago.
योग मन व शरीर, विचार व कर्म, संयम व उपलब्धि की एकात्मता का तथा मानव व प्रकृति के बीच सामंजस्य का मूर्त रूप है। यह स्वास्थ्य व कल्याण का समग्र दृष्टिकोण है। योग केवल व्यायाम भर न होकर अपने आप से तथा विश्व व प्रकृति के साथ तादात्म्य को प्राप्त करने का माध्यम है।
And since then, Yoga Day has become a global celebration of Indian culture, while also recognizing India's immense contribution to health and harmony. Prime Minister Modi, for the last 9 years, has diligently marked every Yoga Day with fellow Indians, and thereby highlighting the power of yoga to the world.
Sukhasana posture, which is a meditative posture.
From teaching the benefit of asanas to the world, to showing how yoga is an intrinsic part of his fitness regime. Prime Minister Modi has put the spotlight on yoga in every possible way. Come June 21st, witness the soft power of yoga and how the world celebrates India, led by Prime Minister Modi in New York. Bureau Report, India Today.
So for the last 9 years, every single year, the Prime Minister has celebrated, observed Yoga Day on Indian soil. This is the first time he's going to be abroad, and how fitting really, Gaurav, that it's happening at the United Nations, at the very venue where many years ago the Prime Minister pitched for an International Yoga Day to be recognized, to be set up, established by the United Nations.
Oh, absolutely. And we are looking at these images of the past 9 years. Yoga, India's ancient heritage, India's gift to the world, being popularized, and how across the world. We leave you with these images. Back with lots more. Stay with us.
You are watching India Today.
Best colleges of the country. Which one will boost your aspirations? From courses to placements, know them all. India Today Best Colleges Survey 2023. Issue out this Friday, 23rd June. Subscribe now to indiatoday.in/subscribe and get freebies worth 2,700 from your favorite brands.
It's the world's largest manufacturer of technology products. Some of the global electronics giants rely on it to make their own gadgets. And now, Foxconn is gradually ramping up its reliance on India. The Taiwanese tech giant is all set to enter the electric vehicle manufacturing business in India. According to reports, Foxconn is already in talks with at least 4 states to find a suitable site for its EV operations. It is not clear whether the company will contract manufacture for another brand or create its own branded products. The Indian EV market is one of the fastest growing in the world, with electric two-wheeler sales rising 80% in the first 5 months of this year over the past year. E-two-wheeler sales in fact crossed the 1 lakh mark for the first time ever in May. Electric car sales this year have risen at a phenomenal 137%. According to Foxconn's annual report, the company will set up a production line with the government's help this year. EVs made in India will cater to demand in Southeast Asia as well. The report also says Foxconn will partner with over 1,500 companies in Taiwan and other countries to become the standard platform for the EV industry. Foxconn is one of the 3 iPhone manufacturers in India, with others being Pegatron and Tata Sons, which recently acquired Wistron's Bengaluru plant for around 5,000 crore rupees. Foxconn has manufacturing presence in Sri City in Andhra Pradesh as well as in Sri Perumbudur and Sunguvarchatram in Tamil Nadu. It also has R&D facilities in Chennai and Bengaluru. Recently, there have been reports of the company ramping up its presence with new plants in Devanahalli in Karnataka and on the outskirts of Hyderabad. Foxconn also has a deal with Vedanta to put up a semiconductor plant in Dholera, Gujarat. Foxconn chairman Yang Liu met Prime Minister Narendra Modi earlier this year. It was his second meeting in a span of just 8 months. Analysts are seeing this as a signal of how serious the company is about expanding its footprint in India and building a parallel operation to China. Bureau Report, Business Today Television.
Why does this happen? Let me tell you the science behind it.
For more informative videos like this, keep watching India Today News Mo.
Kerala's public health, all political parties traveling from different parts.
Armed with facts,
Looking at political black.
she takes the news by its horns.
Do you think the future of these students are not hampered?
Fierce, bold and direct, setting the tone for the biggest stories from every corner and every angle. Expect nothing but the unfiltered truth.
News first, niceties later. Watch me, Nabila Jamal, on India Today.
Make your media plan smarter with India Today Live TV on your connected devices. Amplify your brand with 100 million smart internet viewers. To advertise, mail us at sales@aajtak.com.
Why does this happen? Let me tell you the science behind it.
For more informative videos like this, keep watching India Today News Mode.
You are watching India Today.
Ayam nij paroveti garna laghu chetasam udar charitanam tu Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, and that's the theme not just of this year's G20 summit, India's presidency, but Akshita, that's actually what we are seeing on the north lawns of the UN headquarters.
Very, very true. Gaurav, starting off the show in a way only you can. I'm going to hand this straight across to Rahul Kanwal, who's joining us live from the North Lawn in the United Nations. Rahul, good morning. Early start for you, and nice to see so many people up and bright in the morning at 7 a.m. there to be a part of the Yoga Day celebrations.
Oh, absolutely. Lots of people queuing up at the United Nations building, wanting to go in for the International Day of Yoga. And let's see if we can try get a word with some of these people who are here. Do you want to tell us about what brings you here and how excited you are to be a part of the International Day of Yoga?
I'm very excited to see my PM, Modi.
A lot of people here, Akshita and Gaurav, have come for the Prime Minister, many for yoga, and we're told that a lot of international dignitaries are going to be here as well, who are here as envoys at the United Nations, who are also part of the International Day of Yoga. And in fact, many of them tell us that they're not just here for this day, but actually have been doing some yoga in their own lives. And that's something which is very interesting. Hi, good morning. Excited to be at the International Day of Yoga?
Absolutely. I have been looking forward to this day. And
what brings you here, the yoga or the Prime Minister?
The Prime Minister.
The Prime Minister.
Yes.
And what about you?
The Prime Minister, but I enjoy the yoga as well.
You do some yoga yourself?
Yes.
Interesting. Great, and all the best, and have a good one.
You too, thank you.
So huge queues of people wanting to queue in, and there's a massive lawn, Gaurav and Akshita. You're seeing that in some of the pictures we've been bringing out, where people will be seated as the Prime Minister leads the International Yoga Day celebrations. The United Nations Secretary General, India's permanent representative to the UN, they'll all be there. Hello, good morning. I see some. You guys are from the banking industry?
Yes. From Bank of India.
Bank of India. Interesting. आप लोग योगा करते हैं?
Yes, 100%.
PM के लिए आए या योगा के लिए आए?
दोनों के लिए आए हैं. PM के लिए तो जरूर आना है. हमारे PM है, देश की शान है. तो उनके लिए तो आना ही है. योगा तो करते ही हैं.
That again, Gaurav, is a very interesting facet. The fact that the kind of enthusiasm that I remember you were here in 2014 that we saw at that time around the Prime Minister and around the work that he was doing, that level of enthusiasm here in the United States is almost the same. The fact that people are still really excited about wanting to be here, and they've come from different parts. Some people said they've come from Washington. I met some people to be here for what the PM is doing, and then they're going back to Washington to track the rest of his visit as well. Good morning.
Wow.
It's a bit chilly. You're excited to be here at the International Day of Yoga? You
Yes.
Kids as well?
Yes.
You all going to be doing some yoga?
Yes, we're gonna do some yoga. They both know the
You
yoga.
will do yoga ordinarily as part of your life? This is just for...
No, we do usually every Friday yoga. So
What do you
it's a
guys
part
do
of it.
otherwise?
Otherwise we do the different exercises. But one day a week I do a yoga.
Okay, so the Prime Minister is supposed to be here, Gaurav, at about 7:55 this morning, and for about an hour and 5 minutes, he'll be leading the International Day of Yoga. This is the 9th International Day of Yoga, a project which is very close to the Prime Minister's heart. This is something that he propagated here at the United Nations. The Indian diplomatic corps then, really roused to try and generate support for this. And a proposal which even had China concurring. Given our diplomatic differences, you'd ordinarily not expect China to be on the same ticket, but as far as yoga was concerned, they were indeed on the same ticket. And this is something which has happened with a lot of countries wanting for this to happen. And as we broadcast this morning, I see the queue right outside the United Nations building getting longer as more and more people are coming in for this, the International Day of Yoga. Gaurav and Akshita.
It's nice to see so many people candidly admit to you, Rahul, that they're there for the Prime Minister, not so much for the yoga. We hope it's a mix of both that brings so many people gathering there by the thousands, really, at the UN headquarters.
In fact, Rahul, 2014, 2016, 2019, NRG Stadium, Houston, Texas. What brings the Indian-American community out in such numbers each time that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is in the United States of America? Rahul, you were also reporting, if I remember correctly, from San Francisco when the Prime Minister was on the West Coast. So that enthusiasm remains. Has the Prime Minister's visit changed their lives in any way, Rahul?
It's a matter of pride for a lot of these people who are here, Gaurav. The fact that they've been here as Indian Americans for many decades, and they feel that the level of seriousness with which they are taken, or the halo around the India story that they now feel and experience hasn't been there before this, and therefore that makes them really proud. So India has been around on the international stage for the longest time, often seen with promise and often seen with disappointment. As Ruchir Sharma told me, India, India fails both the optimists and the pessimists, and that's really one of the interesting things about the India story. They feel though that this time is different, that they're seeing the rest of the world take India much more seriously, and that's something that gives them great joy. That's something. Mr. Gere, how are you? Welcome to the
Hi, how are you?
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Good morning to you.
This is just something that you've come for this time round.
I'm sorry?
Do you do yoga ordinarily as part of your life?
No, I have done it. I'm more of a Tai Chi person than a yoga person, but physical yoga. But mental yoga, yes, absolutely.
Interesting. It's nice to see you here at the International Day of Yoga, and enjoy yourself. So, I just want to turn around. The people who are here are the ones who've come largely without tickets. The people who are queuing up naturally are queuing and going in. And there's a lot of enthusiasm amongst the people who are here. And as we discovered earlier, Akshita, a lot of these people are here just to be a part of what Prime Minister Modi is doing, and just to go out, whether it's on Instagram or Facebook or Twitter, and say, we were there where the Prime Minister was. Akshita and Gaurav.
You showed us a glimpse there of Richard Gere, who just made his way in, saying, I'm not much of a yoga person, mental yoga is my thing. All celebrities, are there a lot of influencers, celebrities in America who are going to be a part of this event, Rahul?
Yeah, this is turning out to be a good trip, Akshita, to the US. We were waiting for Elon Musk, and given how nasty he has been in the past with media personnel, I was very apprehensive when he came out. We just put our mic out there, started asking him a few questions, and here he was answering those questions and giving a very big headline, in fact, announcing that he would be making a Tesla investment here. We see Richard Gere just walk up, we put out a mic, and there he is, Richard Gere here at the International Day of Yoga. So yes, they do have a lot of influencers coming here for the International Day of Yoga, and I can see that a lot of the VIPs are now beginning to come in. Initially, we had a lot of the people who would be occupying the lawns who are coming in. Now we're seeing a lot of the international diplomats who are here. They'll be coming in moments from now, and being a part of the International Day of Yoga. And the interesting thing is, yesterday, for example, Nassim Nicholas Taleb, a couple of Nobel Prize winners, they were all there. So it's not just the fact that the diplomatic corps here in New York have invited them. The fact also is that they want to be a part of the India conversation, and that again is something very interesting, that not just do you get invited, but you also want to accept that invite and do whatever can be done to be here, as we just saw with Richard Gere this morning.
Absolutely. Rahul, you spoke to Elon Musk, you spoke to Richard Sharma. I want to understand, one, the China story, where people see hope in India and not as much in China. But what brings about that change of heart when it comes to Elon Musk? Why is he now keen on investing in India? Why wasn't it working out earlier? Are those nuts and bolts also being, sorted out right now?
China has been, Gaurav, the superstar of the global economy for more than 2 decades now. Things, however, are now beginning to change with the Chinese population now in decline, their working age population coming down, the population also aging, and that's never a good thing for an economy that wants to grow. Remember, in the Q1 numbers that came out, revenue growth for Chinese companies is only 1.5%. The estimate was on the back of the pandemic that the Chinese economy would be growing at 5% plus. China is in deep distress. We saw President Biden describe Xi Jinping as a dictator. This just a day after Blinken, the Secretary of State, came back from Beijing. So relations between China and the United States are very badly poised at this moment. And frankly, one of the reasons why there is so much interest around the India story at this moment is because of deteriorating ties between China and the United States, which is why they're seeing in India an opportunity to build a new bridge, and that's one of the reasons why India is getting the kind of technology that it is, which frankly in the past wouldn't have been available. Let me see if I can speak to some of the people who are here and try and get a sense from them about their level of enthusiasm going into the International Day of Yoga. It's a bit chilly. You're excited to be doing some yoga and warming up shortly?
Yeah, definitely. So this is an important event for us, and this is a golden opportunity in a UN building, an Indian, and enjoying this kind of atmosphere. Definitely, it's one of the event.
You guys excited about going in for the International Day of Yoga?
Yes,
Do you guys do yoga ordinarily, or this is just something for the day?
You know what? I try to do yoga, but I'm not the best at it. She's much better than I am.
You're a good yogini?
I think it's really important to practice yoga and meditation as much as you can.
So you're here for the International Day of Yoga, or you're here for the Prime Minister?
Both.
Come from nearby or quite far away?
Pretty close by, actually. Just across this little island.
And that is interesting. She's saying she's come from close by. That's a fair distance to be coming in early in the morning. And that is in some ways reflective of the level of enthusiasm. A lot of people, with tickets, and they're the ones queuing up. On the other side, a lot of people hoping, as you would outside an IPL match, that is there some extra ticket they can get their hands on so they can find a way of going in. Gaurav, Akshita?
Oh, absolutely. That's quite interesting. People say that they're both to see Prime Minister Narendra Modi and also be a part of, truly in a way, Akshita, history being created, diplomats from 180 countries and more, and their families and eminent personalities, Akshita.
Very true, and we've got some of those names on our screens right now. You saw Rahul in conversation with Richard here, so it's confirmed that the very famous Hollywood actor is already there at the UN headquarters for the Yoga Day event. But besides that, who are the other names to look forward to? Well, this is a marriage essentially of your Indian influencers and American influencers, all of them coming together for this big headline event. So Jay Shetty, very, very famous award-winning storyteller, known for his podcasts. He's going to be there. Vikas Khanna, award-winning Indian chef. I'm sure you've all heard of him. He owns a Michelin star restaurant also in America. He's going to be there. Also, some other popular Indian names, Gaurav, like Ricky Cage, they're going to be there too.
Three-time Grammy Award-winning winner, three-time Grammy-nominated Indian music composer, and of course environmentalist Falguni Shah, American singer whose music blends ancient classical Indian music with contemporary Western music. So you have a lot of Indian Americans also who are there, and this is exactly what this is. People of two powerful democracies together. That truly is the strength, and people who can trust each other, Akshita. unlike China, when this is what several Indian Americans and Americans say, Akshita, that when Chinese come, they actually fear that they're taking away their technology, they're stealing secrets. That's not the case with Indians or Indian Americans.
And you know what's interesting is previously, if we ever spoke about how reliant India was on America, the tables have turned now. Largely, you see this kind of a welcome, you see this kind of, an amazing highlight really of the Prime Minister's visit in America. Why? Because America knows how reliant they are also on India, and that itself is the India story for you right now. Reactions, I think, coming in.
Yeah, let's listen into those reactions.
And yoga is sahaj, simple.
Very little. Hi, how are you?
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Good morning to you.
This is just something that you've come for this time round.
I'm sorry?
Do you do yoga ordinarily as part of your life?
No, I have done it. I'm more of a Tai Chi person than a yoga person, but physical yoga. But mental yoga, yes, absolutely.
Interesting. It's nice to see you here at the International Day of Yoga and enjoy yourself. Again, how are you? Welcome to the
Very little. Hi, how are you?
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Good morning to you.
This is just something that you've come for this time round.
I'm sorry?
Do you do yoga ordinarily as part of your life?
No, I have done it. I'm more of a Tai Chi person than a yoga person, but physical yoga. But mental yoga, yes, absolutely.
Interesting. It's nice to see you here at the International Day of Yoga and enjoy yourself.
So that's Richard Gere there saying that I'm more of a Tai Chi person than a yoga person. But Vikas Khanna, Jay Shetty, Ricky Cage, all of them are also going to be there, Gaurav.
Oh, absolutely. And I once again want to cut across to the north lawns of the United Nations General Assembly or the UN headquarters. Rahul Kawal once again with us. Rahul, take it away. I believe the president of the UNGA is also likely to be there with a number of other top diplomats.
Oh yes, in fact the Prime Minister's office just a short while before now putting on a whole list of people who will be at the United Nations in just a moment from now as the International Day of Yoga gets started. We have somebody from the Mayor's office over here as well. It seems that quite a few people from far and wide are coming in this morning for the International Day of Yoga. Lots of celebrities walking in.
Yes, hi, my name is Dilip Chauhan. I'm the Deputy Commissioner for the New York City Mayor Eric Adam Office for International Affairs. Such a great and proud moment to be a part of the 9th International Yoga Day. And New York City Mayor Eric Adams, he's also going to join this amazing yoga celebration. You can see the vibration and excitement. You can see inside how many people are here. So such a great feeling. It's such a great honor to be part of this International Yoga Day celebration. Thank you.
Thank you. The queues are getting longer. The sun is mercifully coming out. It was a bit nippy. This is supposed to be the New York summer. It didn't really feel like much of a summer, especially given where we're coming from, Gaurav and Akshita. But fortunately, I think as we head towards 8 a.m., the sun coming out just a bit, and that makes things easier. A lot of people here now getting ready for the Prime Minister to come, and they're hoping that they can find some way of getting as close to the man as possible. If you see his schedule from yesterday, he landed about the afternoon, and till late into the evening, chock-a-block with with authors, thinkers, health experts, tech experts. So he had a very, very packed schedule. And soon after finishing here at the United Nations, he'll be heading to Washington, D.C., where again he has a very packed calendar. So he's really packing it in to the extent possible and trying to make as much of the state visit even before the formal state visit gets started.
Absolutely. In fact, Rahul, you just spoke to Richard Gere, and the fact that that very famous Hollywood actor is there, the fact that he's a strong campaigner for Tibet is something that would actually end up riling China, but it's a fact that this is a time when the free world has to come together, and Richard Gere being there sends across a very important message, Rahul.
Yeah, he did look like Richard Gere, and I was just a bit concerned before I went closer. I hope I'm not going to speak to someone who looks a bit similar. And then, of course, we're live on TV. We have no idea who's walking. It could have been a big disaster. Fortunately, it was the real Richard Gere, and that was is breathing a sigh of relief because here you go, stick your mic up and say Mr. Gere, and he says, actually, that's not me. And that would have been one of those moments can then just be pulled out, and in social media, they just viral forever. So that's a bit of a reporter's nightmare, but it's great to be out in the field. Let me try and speak to a few of these people. Hello, good morning. You're excited to be going in to be a part of the International Day of Yoga?
Yes, that's correct. Yes.
Where are you coming in from?
New Jersey.
So you've come from a fair distance this morning.
Yep.
You all do yoga ordinarily, or you're here just for the day?
No, we are going to be doing yoga. So we look forward to that.
So you've been tracking the Prime Minister's visit from the last time to this time. What do you think is changing about how India is being perceived and how the India story is being looked at?
I mean, it is definitely has prominence in the world leadership kind of in diaspora. So we look forward to many more years of the similar kind of growth of India, Bharata, I would say.
Let me not hold you back. There's a queue to go in. There are people coming from far and wide to be a part of the International Day of Yoga. Hello. You guys excited about going in for the International Day of Yoga?
Yes, we are.
You do yoga ordinarily, or this is just for the day?
No, I always do, and today is my birthday also.
Happy birthday.
Thank you.
Very nice. It's a good way to be celebrated.
Yes, I am excited, and I am excited to see Modi ji.
It's like a very icing on the cake. I mean, we love yoga, and yoga is our ancient, heritage of Indian community or Hindu community, I can say. And it's like icing on the cake because Modi ji is also addressing it. So it's like doing yoga with Modi ji is really an awesome experience. Bharat Mata ki Jai.
Great, thank you very much. I hope you have a good time inside. Where are you guys coming from? You're excited about being a part of the International Day of Yoga?
Absolutely, we are. We live close by. We're from Long Island. It's only a half hour away from here.
You're here for the yoga, you're here for the Prime Minister?
For both. For both.
You do yoga ordinarily?
Yes, I'm a yoga enthusiast, and we are, of course, very excited to see the Prime Minister. So.
Great, thank you very much, and all the very best. So Gaurav and Akshita, there's some real yoga enthusiasts who are coming in. There's some slightly knuckly yoga enthusiasts pretending to be major yoga enthusiasts, but you have no option when you're going into the International Day of Yoga. Everybody, they were telling us later, just the moment the cameras got over there, we don't really do as much yoga, but we would like to, and which is interesting as well. Just the fact that this is a showcasing of India's soft power. This is a showcasing of the kind of cultural heritage that our country has, and the fact that the Prime Minister so boldly and in the manner that he is trying to showcase India's economic prowess, its technological prowess, and through the International Day of Yoga, its cultural and soft prowess. And really give out the full picture and putting on as much of an effort as is possible to invite people from different spheres of life to be here in New York at the United Nations for the International Day of Yoga. Gaurav.
And, just picking up from what you've said just now, Rahul, there's a lot of talk about this being such a great photo op and, so many representatives from across the world coming together. Beyond the photo op, beyond the optics, Rahul, what to you is the takeaway really from this kind of a massive mega event at the UNHQ?
Hello, sir. How are you?
The fact, Akshita, that there are so many people coming in, is a way of rousing and, just bringing the entire Indian American community together. And the diaspora has really been, from even before the time Prime Minister Modi got elected, one of the great strengths of the Prime Minister, carrying his message, his vision to people across the world. Because each of them is a brand ambassador for the country, talking very excitedly about what's happening back home, getting people around them charged up and enthusiastic as well. So it works really well for the Prime Minister that he's got all these people as virtual brand ambassadors, sending out his message, his vision, sharing his passion and enthusiasm. And that is indeed one of the strengths that he has. Let me try and speak. It's a bit nippy. I see you've got a shawl on. You're excited about being a part of the International Day of Yoga?
Of course.
Where are you guys coming from?
We are coming from India.
Come from India for this?
We are Indians, so we'll come from India only, no? Yeah, we are very honored to be here.
Not so much for the yoga, more for the
Yoga, yeah, Modi more. Yeah, of course. Modi ji.
All the best. Have a good one.
Thank you.
Enjoy yourselves. They're very clear. The yoga is just part of the reason we are here. The main reason that we are here is because of the Prime Minister, and that's fine. I mean, whatever it is that brings people in, as long as they're coming in and the people coming in pretty decent numbers to the United Nations headquarters for the International Day of Yoga, Gaurav.
Absolutely. In fact, it's great that they're being pulled in. They'll learn a little about yoga, and perhaps once they're drawn in, they will stay and benefit. Rahul, I was just going through that invitee list and some of the people who are coming in. One of them is Travis Mills. He's a war veteran who lost 4 limbs in Afghanistan. He promotes yoga because, Rahul, he says that yoga actually helps you overcome all obstacles in life. Physical, mental, emotional and spiritual, Rahul. So perhaps, that is something that draws these people, that yoga may help them overcome their difficulties, Rahul.
Oh, most certainly. In fact, if you look at these lists, they're very deeply thought through and selected. This isn't a random invitation list that's put together. They've spent a lot of time thinking through very deeply who they want, why they want them. And I was noticing that even yesterday with the kind of people who are coming in to meet the Prime Minister, they're looking at what people have been writing about India, about our economy, or about the health sector, or on tech. And then on the back of all of that, reaching out to those people. Many of them hadn't met the Prime Minister before this. So it's not as if he's recirculating the same gang of people he's met in the past. They're trying to expand the network, expand the ambit of who the Prime Minister is able to touch during his time here at the United Nations, and maybe win more friends, influence more people, send out that message and try and, get them excited. And a lot of the people who were there yesterday after they met the Prime Minister said this was really an opportunity for them to hear from the PM about what was going on back home, and he's basically trying to win them into his net and, as an extension into India's net.
Oh, brilliant, brilliant. Rahul, stay with us, stay with us. We will continue to come back to you. But Rahul Kanwal just spoke to actor Richard Gere here at the United Nations headquarters when he was going in. Why is Richard Gere so important? There's one aspect that, of course, several people are aware of. Richard Gere is not just a very famous Hollywood actor. He's also a very strong advocate for human rights in Tibet. He's the co-founder of the Tibet House US and chairman of the board of directors for the International Campaign for Tibet. Extremely, extremely crucial at this point of time. Let's listen in to Rahul Kanwal in conversation with actor Richard Gere.
Gere, how are you? Welcome to the
Hi, how are you?
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Good morning to you.
This is just something that you've come for this time round.
I'm sorry?
Do you do yoga ordinarily as part of your life?
No, I have done it. I'm more of a Tai Chi person, a yoga person, but physical yoga. But mental yoga, yes, absolutely.
Interesting. It's nice to see you here at the International Day of Yoga, and enjoy yourself. Gere, how are you? Welcome to the
Hi, how are you?
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Good morning to you.
This is just something that you've come for this time round.
I'm sorry?
Do you do yoga ordinarily as part of your life?
No, I have done it. I'm more of a Tai Chi person, a yoga person, but physical yoga. But mental yoga, yes, absolutely.
Interesting. It's nice to see you here at the International Day of Yoga, and enjoy yourself.
Well, I'm most definitely a bit starstruck that we've got Richard Gere here on the channel first. Rahul in conversation with him. He says, I'm a Tai Chi man, not much of a yoga man, but he's still there, and that's what counts. Rahul, at this point, I think just about 30 minutes to go. We'll connect with Rahul in just a bit. Just about 30 minutes to go for the Prime Minister also to arrive there. And what we're hearing, Gaurav, is that for 1 hour, you will have the Prime Minister along with thousands of people gathered there at the North Lawn. It's going to be a sight because we've already seen yoga mats being put out there, all the preps being done for thousands of people to come together from 180 nations, being led by the Indian Prime Minister. And for 1 hour, they will all in sync perform yoga.
So yoga, karmasu, kaushalam is what we talk about very extensively. India Today's Rahul Kanwal continues to be with us from Ground Zero at the United Nations headquarters. And Rahul's had a very interesting conversation with people who are queuing up at the UN headquarters to witness this unprecedented historic event. A proposal that was made by India in 2014, 21st of June, to be declared International Day of Yoga. 9 years later, Prime Minister Narendra Modi leads not just the country, but the world in celebrating yoga. Take a look at this report.
It's a chilly morning, doesn't feel so much like summer here in New York just at this moment. Hopefully the day will get better as the sun comes out. Lots of people here to be a part of the International Day of Yoga. In fact, let's try and speak to some of the people who've come here. Sir, what brings you here for this Yoga Day? Where are you coming from?
मैं भारत से आया हूँ और आज आप देख रहे हैं एक अलग उत्साह है, अलग उमंग है, अलग खुशी है, क्योंकि माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने ये प्रस्ताव रखा था यूएन में और 2015 में सैकड़ों देशों ने समर्थन किया और आज स्वयं प्रधानमंत्री जी यहाँ भाग लेने के लिए आ रहे हैं तो बहुत बड़ी संख्या में हुजूम उमड़ा है, क्योंकि योग से ही विश्व शांति का सपना साकार हो सकता है। योग वसुधैव कुटुंबकम का संदेश है। योग हमारे हेल्दी और हैप्पी लाइफ का मूल मंत्र है और हमारे धर्मशास्त्रों में भी कहा शरीर माध्यम खलु धर्म साधनम, धर्म की साधना भी अगर शरीर स्वस्थ है तो कर सकते हैं। तो स्वस्थ, सुखी और समृद्ध जीवन का मूल मंत्र है वो योग है। इसलिए मैं टुडे इंडिया के माध्यम से कहना चाहूंगा देशवासियों से, करें योग, रहे निरोग, करें योग, रहे निरोग। बहुत बहुत शुभकामनाएं अहिंसा, विश्व भारती और जैन धर्म की ओर से संपूर्ण देशवासियों को, दुनिया को अंतर्राष्ट्रीय योग दिवस।
बहुत शुक्रिया, thank you so much. Some young adults here as well you've come down for the Yoga Day celebrations, and would you be on the match doing some yoga yourself?
No, unfortunately, but we come here to see Modi ji, a big fans. Yeah, we're supporting him today over here.
Okay, have you managed to see him so far?
No, not yet. First time. Hopefully, yeah, very excited. Yeah, very excited. We really hope to see him today. Hopefully, we can shake his hand also.
Yeah. That might be a little difficult though. Yeah, but you can try.
Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed.
So you're here early this morning just to see if they can get somewhere close to Prime Minister Modi. You've been tracking his visits for a while now?
Yes. We've been tracking him, yeah.
As we speak to people who were meeting here at the United Nations, many of them were part of Prime Minister Modi's visit in 2014 as well. And they've come saying that we were here last time and we are here again. So would you be excited about doing some yoga if you get an opportunity?
If I get, yes, I would be. Unfortunately, I don't have a pass, but I still want to be witness to this great event being organized here. Mr. Modi has proposed this himself in, I think, 2014 while he was here, and from 2015 this event is being celebrated worldwide. All credit to Modi. Modi deserves credit for everything. We are fortunate to have born in an era where Modi is leading our country.
The Prime Minister does seem to have been able to create a massive buzz around the India story. I managed to ask a few questions to Elon Musk last evening. There's a full stakeout. We're trying to figure out which exit is he going to be coming out from. And then when we managed to speak to him, he spoke about wanting to invest in India. Now, remember, like Apple, Tesla too is a bellwether tech company, and therefore when Tesla makes an announcement that they want to be investing in the India story, that's something that the rest of the world takes very, very carefully. So we're seeing some economic power today at the United Nations headquarters. We're seeing some soft power of India play out. It's all quite exciting. I remember that you and I were here together in 2014. That time it was the Madison Square Garden packed to the rafters in a way that the United States hadn't seen. This is a different version of India. Remember, the International Day of Yoga is something that the Prime Minister himself propagated. So this is a project that's very, very close to his heart. And therefore, coming here, wanting to push this idea, I just want to walk across to some more people and see if we can speak to them and get a sense of what brings them here. And are you hoping to be inside and be part of the International Day of Yoga?
Yes, namaste.
Namaste. Where are you from?
From New York, and originally we are also setting up one of the largest yoga therapy hospital in India, in Ujjain, which will be the third largest in the world. And I'm so glad today we are going to have the yoga day with our Prime Minister Modi.
What do you think an event of this kind does for yoga in the United States and internationally, given the fact that so many envoys of countries across the world are going to be here practicing yoga with the PM?
This is something, a message to the world that Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, and the message coming from United Nations. The word united means it is a true union is happening with this event, mega event, and giving message to the world that Bharat was Vishwaguru, and it is being proven here today that we are going to lead to the world in this century.
Okay, thank you so much, and I wish you all the best. So what we're seeing here is one facet of what's at play. In other parts of New York, though, there are lots of protesters for different causes. There are some Khalistanis protesting, there are some Manipuris protesting. So all the aspects of Indian democracy out at play. The soft power, people celebrating, wanting to be a part of what the Prime Minister is doing, and some voices of discord and dissent as well.
Well, yoga unites, at least that's the aim, Akshita. That's what Prime Minister Narendra Modi also spoke about. In fact, there is this ocean ring that he's talking about. He's talking about how today, from the Arctic in the north or the North Pole to the Antarctica in the South Pole, yoga is being celebrated on both the poles across the world and at UN headquarters with 180 diplomats from 180 countries participating, truly taking this Indian heritage revolution overseas, Akshita.
And it's, fitting to say that this is no exaggeration at all of the impact that yoga has had on the world, the impact of International Yoga Day as well. These are some of the images on your screens right now of the Prime Minister and how he's taken part in yoga celebrations every year. At 6 a.m. in the morning, Gaurav, I remember that the Prime Minister would be out there performing yoga with a huge crowd of Indians. This time, it's going to be early in the morning in New York City. And we had, of course, everyone with the same enthusiasm here in India, also celebrating Yoga Day, getting up early in the morning, performing their asanas. The Prime Minister had a message for Indians and for the world on the International Day of Yoga. Let's play out some of those highlights.
योग एक वैश्विक आंदोलन बन गया है, ग्लोबल स्पिरिट बन गया है। साथियों, इस साल योग दिवस के कार्यक्रमों को ओशन रिंग ऑफ योगा इसने और विशेष बना दिया है। ओशन रिंग ऑफ योगा, इसका आइडिया योग के विचार और समुद्र के विस्तार के पारस्परिक संबंध पर आधारित है। योग के इस अनूठे सेलिब्रेशन में देश दुनिया के करोड़ों लोगों का इतने सहज स्वरूप में शामिल होना योग के प्रसार और प्रसिद्धि को, उसके महात्म्य को उजागर करता है। भारतीय समय के अनुसार शाम 5:30 बजे करीब संयुक्त राष्ट्र यूएन के मुख्यालय में जो विशाल मात्रा में योग कार्यक्रम हो रहा है, मैं उसमें शामिल होऊंगा। भारत के आह्वान पर दुनिया के 180 से ज्यादा देशों का एक साथ आना ऐतिहासिक है, अभूतपूर्व है।
So unprecedented and historic. 180 countries, more than 180 countries, their representatives, diplomats, their family members, other guests at the north lawns of the UN headquarters. And those are images that you see on your television screens. They will all be together and they will all participate. Not just a physical exercise, it's physical, mental, emotional and spiritual for the overall improvement of body, mind and soul, Akshita.
Very true. And look at those images on our screens right now from the North Lawns at the UN headquarters. I remember from at least 3 days back, we've been getting these pictures of the preps that have been underway. So they've pulled all stops to ensure that this is as big as an event as it can get. And we're hearing that thousands of people will be there. We're talking about influencers from different spheres of life, all coming together to be a part of this particular event. And I want to bring in on this broadcast now Mr. Rajiv Chandrasekhar, Union Minister for Entrepreneurship, Skill Development, Electronics and Technology. Sir, good evening to you. So far, going by what's happened with the Prime Minister's visit in America, it's been a sweeping success. What does this visit really, Mr. Chandrasekhar, symbolize to you, particularly the warmth that the Prime Minister and thereby India has received from American leaders?
Yeah, I think it is not just the warmth for the Prime Minister, but really a testimony to how the world is now looking at India after 9 years of Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji as India's leader. You can see from how Elon Musk has referred to India, or Ray Dalio has referred to India, or indeed Paul Romer has referred to India. They all look at India as this tremendous growth opportunity in the coming years. And I think when Elon Musk says, I think India has more promise than any other country, he is really speaking to the development and the progress that India has made over the last several years. So I think this is partly a reflection of the deep goodwill and respect that the Honorable Prime Minister has as an individual, but more a signal about how the world sees India that has transformed over the last 9 years under the leadership of our Prime Minister.
Okay. Mr. Chandrasekhar, there was this meeting, like you mentioned, Elon Musk meeting Prime Minister Narendra Modi. He said he's a fan of Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Is this slowly moving towards perhaps Tesla being manufactured in India, or Starlink getting entry to India?
Oh, absolutely. I think Elon Musk has made it clear that he is evaluating India as a potential hub to manufacture the EVs that Tesla is globally famous for, and to use India as a manufacturing hub and an export hub. Look, I think it is pretty clear to those around the world who lead enterprises, who lead governments, that in the reshaped supply chains for electronics, EVs, India is certainly a can't ignore a trusted partner for the world's enterprises and world's global brands. Apple, Samsung, Cisco, we are hearing now about Tesla and many, many other countries that have made India their base for manufacturing, for providing services, to use Indian talent for their R&D, design and innovation. So India is certainly today in 2023 a very, very trusted and a very significant partner in the world's electronics and technology supply chains. And I think what Elon is saying and what Tesla is saying is really a reflection of that.
I'm sure you've also seen the conversation that Rahul Kanwal and Geeta Mohan have had with Elon Musk soon after that meeting, Mr. Chandrasekhar. We asked him about what former Twitter CEO Jack Dorsey said about a week ago about India and how they were forced to remove some tweets. Elon Musk has said that very clearly we must follow the law of the land. Your response to this as a minister who really led the charge against Jack Dorsey?
No, I think it's a very obvious, you don't have to be a PhD or a nuclear scientist to figure out that India is a large democracy, a democracy that operates on the rule of law. And whether you're a large company or a small company or a foreign company or an Indian company, that compliance with Indian law is a simple ask of companies that operate in India. I think some people get it. Certainly Elon Musk seems to understand that very clearly, as hundreds and thousands of other CEOs from foreign and Indian companies understand. Maybe there were some CEOs who didn't quite get it and thought that they were a law unto themselves and therefore they could ignore Indian law. So it is, different people think differently. It is not our business to persuade anybody to anything excepting to say that in India, to keep repeating that this is not about being adversarial, that our government just wants every company in India that deals with products and services being on offer to Indian customers and Indian Nagriks, that they should comply with Indian law.
Okay. Now, all the meetings that have happened so far, and there are many that are scheduled now in phase 2 in Washington, D.C. After this International Day of Yoga. But so far, as Minister for Entrepreneurship and Skill Development, Electronics and Technology, what have you been most excited about so far?
No, I am very excited. I am excited, and I'm excited to the point that I even go and say that in our modern history as a country, we are certainly living in the most exciting times in the history of modern India. And this partnership between India and the US that spans, of course, many things, security, economy, trade, but certainly is very importantly focused on critical and emerging technologies of the future. Yes. That this partnership will play a significant role in partnership with other like-minded countries, of course, in shaping the technologies of the future, whether it's AI, whether it's quantum, whether it's semiconductors and electronics. So I think, many decades ago, I happened to be a young boy going off to the US looking for a job, studying a job, and I never thought that India would ever reach this level of acceptance and respect and global awe and respect. And it is certainly fulfilling that in our lifetime we are able to see our nation become a respected partner for the world's largest nations and the world's biggest innovation ecosystem. So I think it is certainly very heartening, it's very exciting, and I repeat again, I think we are living in the most exciting time ever in the history of modern India.
Final question to you, Mr. Rajiv Chandrasekhar. We're just a few minutes away, actually, from the Prime Minister arriving at the UN headquarters for that mega International Yoga Day event at the UN. What do you think, sir, about that particular event? I'm sure you're looking forward to it, but there's been a lot of talk about how this government has pushed yoga and ensured it's a soft power and also weaved it into diplomacy in a way.
Yeah, look, I have a different take on it. I don't think, I'm so inspired by the fact that Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji has made yoga this global phenomenon and this global event on one particular day in a year, and it has really taken off and it has brought people together in ways that nothing else has before. But it is also not just about soft power, and I think that word is certainly not the wrong word to phrase to use. I think the values that India has always represented, the values of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, that we really are a nation and a culture and a people that are interested in showcasing our capabilities and working in partnership with the rest of the world for the betterment of humanity. Yoga being one clear example of that. Our India stack being another example. These partnerships to shape the future of technology, another example. Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, the slogan and the line that describes our presidency of the G20. All of this are, in my opinion, amplify and reiterate amongst countries today around the world that are otherwise caught up in disputes between countries in Europe and disputes all around the world, that really these value systems that India has lived by for generations and centuries are really values that are very loudly relevant in today's world and in the decades and centuries to come.
I think that's very rightly put by you, Minister, that I think Yoga Day and yoga is all-inclusive, respects diversity. Thank you very much for joining us here on India Today. Mr. Rajiv Chandrasekhar there for you, ladies and gentlemen, giving his message on Yoga Day as well.
And we will take you to the north lawns of the UN headquarters in New York. But before that, the crowds, the surging crowds. And it's just about less than 10 minutes to go for Prime Minister Narendra Modi to arrive there for the celebrations to start. But then the crowds are still not in. India Today's Foreign Affairs editor Geeta Mohan is on ground zero. She sent us this report.
Here at the Times Square, there'll be about 8,000 people registered through the day for about 7 classes that will be held over here at the Times Square to come and practice yoga, perform yoga. This is on the 21st of June, International Day of Yoga and the summer solstice. So a very important day. While Prime Minister Narendra Modi is going to be at the UN headquarters, there are going to be people at Central Park here in Times Square performing yoga, celebrating this day together across the globe, across the United States of America as well. At the Times Square, this is Geeta Mohan reporting for India Today. It's wee hours in the morning, quite early, but Geeta over here is joining me. She works here at Morgan Stanley, but she intends to come for the yoga event that's going to take place here at the Times Square. Geeta, you're going to come over here.
Yes.
Did you get to know about it because you just saw the preparations, or did you know about it before?
I knew about this before. I participate every year. Every year the timing changes, though the location is the same here at Times Square. So I was just inquiring about what time can I come in to participate. It's lovely to be out in the open in this concrete jungle city, so to speak. There are thousands of us here that assemble every hour or so to do yoga on Solstice Day, and it's just an amazing experience that I'm looking for.
How do you think yoga has become a part of India's culture, history today, now on the global map? How do you see it? Do you see a huge change in how yoga now has become a part of people's lives across the globe?
Yes. Definitely, as we get more and more involved with ourselves and our activities and whatever hobbies and work life that we do, yoga gives us that little pause and break in our usual routine.
पाकिस्तान हो, पूरी दुनिया आज मोदी जी के छत्र छाया तले योगा करेंगे। हमारी जो दुनिया की सबसे बड़ी डेमोक्रेसी है भारत, और दुनिया की सबसे पुरानी जो डेमोक्रेसी है अमेरिका, इनका आज एक सम्मेलन होगा यहाँ पे पूरी जागतिक पटल पर। और जो हम वसुधैव कुटुंबकम का जो नारा लगाते हैं कि द होल वर्ल्ड इज वन फैमिली, वो आज हम गदगद रीत्या देख सकते हैं कि भारत पूरी दुनिया को इकट्ठा करके उन्हें योगा सिखा रहा है। और एज एन NRI हमारा ये कर्तव्य है कि सब जगह पर प्रेम, सद्भावना और प्रॉस्पेरिटी को हम फैला सके। सो धन्यवाद आपने कवर करने के लिए।
So that's also Langpar, the Shankhnad, very, very auspicious, Akshita, but it also shows your Langpar, whether you're able to blow the conch, and for how long are you able to do this, as youngsters. This actually used to be a test. How much of this can you do?
Yoga is something that also focuses on lung power, especially with all the breathing exercises. Let's cut across to more reactions coming in. Less than 6 minutes to go for the Prime Minister there at the UN
work
headquarters.
That he is doing across the world. So looking forward to seeing the Prime Minister spending today and this week also in DC, and then performing on Friday for the Prime Minister. We're going to have a great week, Sahil.
People on ground are excited. Less than 6 minutes to go for the festivities to start. And why is this being called a festivity? There are celebrations. Yoga is celebrated, Akshita, for the upliftment of the body, mind and soul. Rahul Kawal is at the North Lawns. Rahul, you're inside the UN headquarters. Take it away. What's happening on the North Lawns of the UN building?
Gaurav, many more people in now. I just saw Richard Gere walk from the holding area to where the Yoga Day celebration will start in a short while from now. We're told that Prime Minister Narendra Modi is going to be here any moment from now as the Yoga Day celebration starts. What's interesting to me is that it isn't just the Indian American crowd that's come out this morning for the International Day of Yoga. A lot of people cutting across countries have come. And not just diplomats, these are just regular folk who are yoga enthusiasts who have been brought out for the International Day of Yoga. And in that sense, a showcase, as we've been discussing, of India's soft power and an effort to really make yoga part of people's life. I was just reading a story that went out in the American press talking about how yoga in the United States is a $16 billion business. So that's how significant yoga is. And I see a lot of the mats when we came out this morning in the North Lawn, United States.
Responsible for each other. It's a very nice feeling here today.
The Prime Minister Modi is also going to be here.
Careful.
Oh, careful.
It's okay. Yeah.
Because what are your thoughts on Yoga Day today? Because Prime Minister Modi will also be going to be present here. What are your thoughts?
No, I'm extremely excited to be here at the UN headquarters. The energy is electrifying. There are so many people. I think thousands of people are over here. And we're going to get to do yoga. I'm wearing, don't let this jacket fool you. I'm going to be
currently at the UN headquarters. But I want to hand it across once again to Rahul, because that's where all the action is. The Prime Minister is expected there in just about 4 minutes from now. Rahul, take it away.
And the other interesting
Okay, and this perhaps is an indication that the Prime Minister's cavalcade would be close by. Even when we were reporting from Ground Zero last time, the moment the Prime Minister's cavalcade would come close, the jammers would be activated and phones would stop working, or the internet signal would be impacted for that brief period when he was crossing. So perhaps 4 minutes to go and the Prime Minister is arriving at these North Lawns to lead the Yoga Day celebrations. And this truly, as the Prime Minister said, Akshita, is one, unprecedented, two, historic. This is India's heritage, ancient Indian knowledge in the modern world, 21st century. The world is benefiting. More reactions coming in. Let's listen in.
We feel proud for the Modi कि हमारा गांव में आए तो हम मेहमान के लिए करेंगे कुछ. आपकी जन्मदिन से हो गई ना वो? आपका कौन सी चैनल है?
Okay, I understand Rahul is back with us. Rahul, apologies, we lost your signal there briefly, but go ahead. Apologies. We'll try to fix that line. If it's possible to reconnect with Rahul, because he's right there in the heart of where all of the action is going to be beginning in just 2 minutes from now in the North Lawns of the UN headquarters. You can see those images on your screens of all the yoga mats that have been laid out where Rahul is currently. The people have streamed in. They're all in their positions. And the Prime Minister, they're waiting for the Prime Minister at that particular spot. He's expected to be there in 2 minutes from now, and for 1 hour, for 60 minutes, the entire crowd led by Prime Minister Modi will perform yoga. And Gaurav, as we focus on what's happening, also all the live updates coming in, there have been a lot of highlights also of Rahul's report over the last 1 hour.
The people he's interacting with, the importance of those influencers, of the celebrities who are there. Richard Gere, for example, everyone knows him as a world-famous Hollywood actor. A lot of people also know that he's a campaigner for Tibet. It's extremely important. He speaks for the people of Tibet, a country that's actually been occupied by China. Let's listen in to Richard Gere.
Gere, how are you? Welcome to the
Hi, how are you?
How are you doing?
I'm doing great. Good morning to you.
This is just something that you've come for this time round.
I'm sorry?
Do you do yoga ordinarily as part of your life?
No, I have done it. I'm more of a Tai Chi person than a yoga person, but physical yoga. But mental yoga, yes, absolutely.
Interesting. It's nice to see you here at the International Day of Yoga, and enjoy yourself.
What a wonderful honor to be a part of this great day with the Prime Minister, celebrating his visit to the United States, and certainly all of the wonderful work that he is doing across the world. I'm so looking forward to seeing the Prime Minister spending today and this week also in D.C. and then performing on Friday for the Prime Minister. We're going to have a great week, Sahil.
All right, we're getting you all the live action right now from the ground. You just heard, in fact, some of the influencers, the stars who are a part of this event. You're going to be seeing a lot of Indian influencers there, American influencers as well. And this particular event perfectly perhaps describes the marriage of Indianness and Americanness at the International Day of Yoga. So many big takeaways, Gaurav, from this event, and that's something that we spoke about earlier as well, that yes, this is a great photo op, but beyond that also, diplomatically speaking, there's so much to take away from this event.
You know, when you speak of Indians, Americans and Indian Americans, 5 million Indian Americans, 50 lakh strong Indian American community, and that's actually the glue that binds India and America together. Two of the most powerful democracies in the world. And I want to cut across and bring in Rahul Kanwal. Rahul, the Indian American community, the government often says that they are the driving force, the fuel, for this relationship between India and America, Akshita, and it's very important, whether it's education, whether it's work, professional work, IT sector, whatever field you say, Indians are actually working so hard benefiting the American economy, benefiting the Indian economy. And as Prime Minister Narendra Modi has repeatedly said, when India and America come together, they work not just for the benefit of each other, but for the benefit of the entire world. India's G20 presidency is all about Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. The world is one family. What's the theme? One Earth, one family, one future.
Very true, Gaurav. We'll try to re-establish the connection with Rahul. We're trying hard to connect with him and get you some of those live updates of what's happening on the ground. But these images on your screens are being streamed live for you here on India Today from the venue. Looks like at that dais with the mic set up, that's where the Prime Minister is going to be first. And then with everyone gathered there, yoga will be performed by thousands of people representing 180 nations. We're talking about people coming together from all walks of life. The guest list also, as far as the VVIPs are concerned, very carefully crafted, very carefully chosen, handpicked to be a part of this particular event. Many of them will also go forward to be a part of the events in Washington, D.C. as well. But in this particular event at New York City, at the UN headquarters, you're going to see all of these influencers coming together performing yoga alongside Prime Minister Modi. Images that are coming in right now. Remember that even as there is the Prime Minister performing yoga at the UN headquarters, that's going to be streamed live, and virtually there are many other pockets where people will be joining the Prime Minister to perform yoga as well. So you're seeing some of those images also coming in of yoga being performed in different parts of not just India but across the world, and that's something that repeatedly, Gaurav, we've highlighted the impact that yoga has had globally as well.
Oh, absolutely. And look at people now take their place at the UN headquarters for the International Yoga Day. Yoga gives peace of mind. Yoga calms you down. Yoga is one. Yes, it is an exercise, but it's not just a physical exercise. It's physical, mental, emotional, spiritual. It binds you with nature. It binds you with other beings. That's the way, that's the message that goes across. That's the message that's actually being conveyed here. Yoga for Dirghayu. Dirghayu is a long life. For Bal, which is Par. For Sukham, for Sukh, which is happiness. So it's spiritual, mental, emotional happiness. India Today's Shweta Singh is on ground zero. She spoke to the Indian diaspora. Let's listen in.
आज गौरव महसूस कर रही हूँ, बहुत गौरव की बात है कि आज एक महायोगी के साथ हम योग के लिए यहाँ आए हैं, जिन्होंने हमारे योग को अंतर्राष्ट्रीय स्तर तक यहाँ पहुँचाया है। अपने देश के लिए यही कहना चाहूँगी कि केसरिया प्यार दिलों में भर दे, अमन खुशहाली की प्रतीक श्वेतता, हरा रंग खुशहाली का, जो समझे सबको एक समान, उस भारत की है हम संतान, उस भारत की है हम संतान।
देखिए, भारत में भले ही आज योग दिवस जो है, अब योग संध्या हो चुकी है, वहां पर उसकी शुरुआत हो रही है, लेकिन यहाँ पर सुबह सवेरे सब लोग यहाँ पर निकल कर आए हैं और सब आज यहाँ मिलकर, अच्छा बच्चे भी आए हैं,
बच्चे भी खड़े हैं, देखें, कम ऑन गर्ल्स, कम हियर,
तो सब यहाँ पर आए हैं, सब योग करना है सबको प्रधानमंत्री से।
जी हाँ, बिल्कुल। माई सेल्फ इज डॉक्टर नीता जैन, आई एम अ डेमोक्रेटिक डिस्ट्रिक्ट लीडर फ्रॉम क्वींस हियर इन न्यूयॉर्क, एंड दिस इज ऑल माई ग्रुप. We are all very excited to participate in yoga. This is the 9th year, and I'm a part of this International Yoga Day of Yoga with government since its inception for last 9 years.
प्रधानमंत्री ने भी जब योग के बारे में पूरी दुनिया को संदेश देने की शुरुआत की, तो उन्होंने अपनी तरफ से ये स्पष्ट किया था कि योग दरअसल एक उपहार स्वरूप देखिए भारतीय संस्कृति का। और आज जब यहाँ पर अंतर्राष्ट्रीय योग दिवस का आयोजन हो रहा है, सेलिब्रेशन हो रहा है, नारा लगाना चाहते हैं आप लोग? कुछ योग का नारा बनाएं?
चाहती हूँ। आज का दिन जून 21 इज ए वेरी बिग डे. मोदी जी ऑफ कोर्स आए हुए हैं यहाँ पे, एंड आज का बहुत बड़ा दिन है. सो एंड थैंक यू फॉर मोदी जी कमिंग एंड विजिटिंग अस. मोदी 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 मोदी.
लगता है आज तो भारत की
या मोदी, हम लोग इतने एक्साइटेड हैं, पूछो मत. हमारे भारत मातरम, माता की जय, भारत माता की जय, भारत माता की जय.
यहाँ से जो उद्घोष है,
आपको भी मिल पाए आज, वो हमारा बहुत सौभाग्य है।
जो भारत का उद्घोष है यहाँ से दुनिया के कोने कोने में पहुंचे, यही कोशिश यहाँ पर जितने भी योग दिवस में शामिल होने, समारोह में हिस्सा लेने के लिए लोग।
And let me quickly cut across to the United Nations building to the UN headquarters in New York. Rahul Kanwal joins us live. Rahul, take it away. It's all set to begin.
Oh, absolutely. The setting is all done now. Moments from now, the International Day of Yoga gets started. Most people have gone in. They were in a holding area, especially the dignitaries who've been called in, and now they've been taken to their mats. And the level of enthusiasm, Gaurav, amongst the people who've come here seems to be quite high. So not just are they here early in the morning on a nippy New York June morning, they're also quite enthusiastic about being a part of the International Day of Yoga, and they've been getting together for a couple of hours now. And we're told that in just a moment from now, the International Day of Yoga here at the United Nations headquarters is about to start, Gaurav.
Rahul, do we have an idea what all is likely to happen over the course of the next hour or so? Is this just, just the asanas, or will there be an explanation? Will those who've benefited from yoga also be talking about it, as was expected earlier?
A lot of top yoga practitioners, and we spoke to a few of them as they were coming in, and they were describing their yoga journeys in the Himalayas and elsewhere. So yoga is something they obviously take very seriously. We've actually seen a few of the International Days of Yoga in the past, Gaurav, where the Prime Minister really leads everyone as they go through a different set of routines. And that's really the way it's been in the past. And then, of course, once that gets over, then everybody talks about their personal journey, their personal experiences as they explain their connections with yoga. So that's something that we're going to be seeing. We've seen it in the past. This is the 9th International Day of Yoga. And the interesting thing is that every year, whether it's the Prime Minister or all ministers around him, they try and find something special, something new, something which takes the journey further, something which is bigger or better, grander than what's been done in the past. And that's really the way it's been. And now this is a routine feature in the calendar, and something which a lot of people are looking forward to and set for, Gaurav.
Rahul, just to add on to that particular question from Gaurav, are we expecting the Prime Minister to also be speaking there, Rahul, before the crowd really comes together to perform yoga? You also had a chance to go in. Did you get to see what it's really looking like? Is it a full house?
It's more or less a full house. I mean, right towards the end where the media is actually quite far away from where the actual yoga is happening. So you're which is why I came out to our cameras, because you're kind of at a distance. You've got the lawns in front, you've got people on those mats doing the yoga, and those are people who, Akshita, as we saw, and we've been speaking to them as they've been coming in from different parts of New York and in the areas around it. They'll be doing yoga out in the out in the lawns on those mats. The media is slightly distant away. A lot of the international celebrities who are here, a lot of local influencers who are here. And the interesting thing about bringing these influencers in is that they've been doing their own thing, recording their own videos, talking about what they're doing, and carrying the message of the International Day of Yoga, Akshita, to their audiences, to the people who connect with them on social media, and spreading the message not just amongst the Indian American community, the Desis who are here, but amongst the larger community of people in New York and the United States, that everybody gets plugged in to the yoga story and as an extension to the India story.
Interesting you say that. So they're being plugged into the yoga story, and they're being plugged into the India story. And that's exactly what Prime Minister Narendra Modi is doing, Rahul. Virtually on every stage, hard selling India as the spiritual destination, as a tourist destination, as an IT destination, and as a market that's open for the whole world to invest in.
Gaurav, there are some things that don't change. I've been coming to the United Nations headquarters in different capacities for about 2 decades now. The telecom signal here, as you know well, has been really bad. for these last 2 decades, and just as it's a pain trying to go in and come out, the signal just doesn't improve. I couldn't hear the whole of your question, but I got a part of it. And yes, you're absolutely right. Seeding the India story in different ways into what's happening at the larger community. And remember, Gaurav, that's the message the Prime Minister is seeking to send through the manner in which all these influencers, you know, we had Nobel laureates, we had thinkers, physicists, you know, market experts, investors here meeting the Prime Minister. Each of them in their interactions then carries that message. Each of these people are here at the International Day of Yoga, then carrying that message. The people coming and connecting with the Prime Minister, carrying the Prime Minister's message and carrying the India story back to back to whoever it is that they connect with. And these are people who in different capacities can influence and impact what's happening. And remember, in the manner in which we saw President Biden hit out at China soon after Secretary of State Anthony Blinken went to Beijing and came back, shows that there is a serious problem in the America-China relationship, and that is also possibly why India looks as appealing as it does for those in New York and Washington DC, because remember, India has refused to get into any kind of formal alliance structure with the United States on various issues, including purchase of Russian oil, on the Russia-Ukraine war. India's positions have been very different from what the United States would like. Despite that relationship continuing to deepen, we'll see a lot of that in Washington later in the afternoon today, and then of course tomorrow and day after as that state visit officially gets started, because for example the GE 414 jet engine deal, a few months ago or a couple of years ago, if somebody had said that America would be willing not just to sell these jet engines but also transfer technology, you would have laughed that off. That simply the conversation itself wouldn't have been on the table. Now not just has America agreed to sell the weapons, sell the jet engines to India, but also agreeing to a transfer of technology. That shows that that just shows the kind of trust there is between India and the United States at this moment. And we're told that as part of the initiative on critical and emerging technologies, there'll be a lot more of these announcements, some of which are expected to happen during the Prime Minister's visit and in the months to come as these two countries really start writing a new chapter in their relations. Gaurav, Akshita.
Very true, Rahul. Just to highlight for our viewers, there on the extreme right of their screens, those are live images that we're getting to you right now from within the venue. You can see, in fact, one of the organizers speaking right now. As and when the Prime Minister is there, we'll get you those first images. I'm curious to know, Rahul, there's a lot of excitement here in India, obviously, for this event. Is it the same in America as well? Perhaps an indicator is the presence of American media at the UN headquarters. Do you see that around you, that kind of palpable excitement? I'm not sure if Rahul is with us.
Yeah, Rahul's absolutely right. It's actually a nightmare reporting from the UN headquarters. You know, the signal, the link breaks so often. But the fact that Rahul was talking about how America is sending across a very strong message, Akshita, it truly is a fact. You know, we've been hearing, as defense reporters, we've been hearing about the GE 414 engines for close to perhaps a decade, if not more. 2010 is when we started hearing that the GE 404 engines will only be for LCA, for Mark 1A, and then for AMCA, which is the 5th generation aircraft, there would be the GE 414 engines. But nobody was willing to give India the technology to produce those engines in the past. Not Russia, our closest strategic partner for decades, not France, not any other country, because very few countries in the world manufacture fighter jet engines. Now, if America is giving you the GE 414 engines, something that even South Korea is looking at, something like the American FA-18 Hornets, Super Hornets fly on with these engines, if they're coming to India, it's actually a strong message that America trusts India and is willing to partner with India. So in the past 2 decades, you know, if we were to go back to 1999, first 1998, the Pokhran nuclear test, sanctions against India, the 1999 Kargil war, that story started changing. You know, Clinton administration in the US, Atal Bihari Vajpayee as Prime Minister, then Bush administration in the US, Dr. Manmohan Singh, that's when that civil nuclear deal took place in 2005 to 2008. huge game changer that time. And then again, this is the next big game changer in 2023, a huge one at that.
And you know, there's a lot of focus right now on the defense deals that will be inked. Many saying that perhaps this will be one of the biggest takeaways from this visit of the Prime Minister to the United States. Of course, post the bilaterals, we'll know if there are a lot more deals that are inked. But what really has led to this monumental moment, Gaurav? What has it taken for the Modi government to convince the Biden government, the administration, that look, now is the right time to sign this kind of crucial defense deal? How long have they been in talks with? What has it taken to really break that problem?
You know, the US President Joe Biden described Xi Jinping as dictator Xi.
Yeah.
So, you know, dictator Xi has actually been the catalyst in India and America coming closer. You know, one thing is very clear. As long as China remains an expansionist force, democracies will have to unite in the face of their China's wolf warrior diplomacy, or the Belt and Road Initiative, or China-Pakistan Economic Corridor, the debt trap diplomacy. The world realizes China is evil when it comes to dealing with other countries. They want to rule and they only want vassal states. The world doesn't accept that in the 21st century.
So weakening US-China ties equals advantage India. And that's what you're seeing also play out right now in this 3-day visit of the Prime Minister to America. Let's focus once again on the event that's going to begin any moment now. We're getting you voices from the ground. We're getting you a sense of the excitement on ground. Here's a report filed by Shweta Singh.
यूनाइटेड नेशंस हेडक्वार्टर्स पर यह अंतर्राष्ट्रीय योग दिवस का आयोजन, उसकी ये विहंगम तस्वीर आप देख रहे हैं और ठीक पीछे जो मंच आप देख रहे हैं, प्रधानमंत्री नरेंद्र मोदी जब यहाँ पर पहुंचकर योग दिवस की अगुवाई करेंगे तो उसी मंच पर वो मौजूद रहेंगे और उसके ठीक सामने आप ये मैट्स देख लीजिए। कुछ लोग जो आगे के हिस्सों में है, आगे की पंक्तियों में है, वो अपनी जगहों को ले चुके हैं, लेकिन पीछे वाले जितने भी लोग हैं अपने मैट्स और एक बॉटल के साथ कुछ ही देर में यहाँ पर बैठ जाएंगे जैसे ही प्रधानमंत्री के आने की सुगबुगाहट होगी, क्योंकि हर व्यक्ति यहाँ पर चाह रहा है जो हिस्सा लेने के लिए आया है वो ये कि प्रधानमंत्री का पहले स्वागत कर ले और उसके बाद अपनी अपनी जगहों को वो जगहों पर आकर बैठे। इसके साथ ही आप बीचों बीच आप उन सभी देशों के झंडे देखेंगे जो संयुक्त राष्ट्र के सदस्य हैं और उसी में वो 175 देश भी जिन्होंने योग दिवस के पक्ष में उस समय भारत के साथ अपना मत रखा था। भारतीयता का, सनातन का, हमारी संस्कृति का, हमारी परंपराओं की एक झलक, एक वानगी जो पूरी दुनिया आज देख रही है। श्वेता सिंह, न्यूयॉर्क।
So this is India's power, India's rich cultural heritage for the world to benefit from, Akshita.
Very true. And you saw that report by Shweta Singh. She's inside. She gave you the first glimpse of what the North Lawns really look like. The event, we're being told, has kicked off. In the sense, people are inside. They're settling down right now. And in some time from now, Prime Minister Modi will be there to lead the Yoga Day celebration. So many people out there on the ground, particularly Indian Americans, spoke to Rahul Kanwal and their message was clear. They're saying that many of us are here just to be a part of this event, just to meet Prime Minister Modi. Let's get you some of those voices.
It's a chilly morning, doesn't feel so much like summer here in New York just at this moment. Hopefully the day will get better as the sun comes out. Lots of people here to be a part of the International Day of Yoga. In fact, let's try and speak to some of the people who've come here. Sir, what brings you here for this Yoga Day? Where are you coming from?
मैं भारत से आया हूँ और आज आप देख रहे हैं एक अलग उत्साह है, अलग उमंग है, अलग खुशी है, क्योंकि माननीय प्रधानमंत्री जी ने ये प्रस्ताव रखा था यूएन में और 2015 में सैकड़ों देशों ने समर्थन किया और आज स्वयं प्रधानमंत्री जी यहाँ भाग लेने के लिए आ रहे हैं तो बहुत बड़ी संख्या में हुजूम उमड़ा है, क्योंकि योग से ही विश्व शांति का सपना साकार हो सकता है। योग वसुधैव कुटुंबकम का संदेश है। योग हमारे हेल्दी और हैप्पी लाइफ का मूल मंत्र है और हमारे धर्मशास्त्रों में भी कहा शरीर माध्यम खलु धर्म साधनम, धर्म की साधना भी अगर शरीर स्वस्थ है तो कर सकते हैं। तो स्वस्थ, सुखी और समृद्ध जीवन का मूल मंत्र है वो योग है। इसलिए मैं टुडे इंडिया के माध्यम से कहना चाहूंगा देशवासियों से, करें।
Okay, live images that are coming in. I'm going to quickly hand this over to Rahul Kanwal. Rahul, go ahead.
I see Akshita, the Prime Minister, now walking into the dais in a white outfit, flanked by enthusiastic supporters. We're broadcasting now from the north lawns of the United Nations headquarters. You can see the Prime Minister right in front of us, walking towards the stage. There, I mean, the chants of Modi, Modi in the air. A lot of people now gathered for the Prime Minister to come here. The External Affairs Minister is there. That's the stage where the Prime Minister will be leading this Yoga Day function in a short while from now. He's arrived at the United Nations headquarters, and people are out on their mats getting set for the yoga routines to begin. They're also as enthusiastic about the Prime Minister there. There's a bust of Mahatma Gandhi, the Prime Minister there, paying his respects as he walks towards the stage where the Yoga Day celebration will take place. A lot of influencers from different parts of the United States here as part of this program. They'll be doing the yoga routine with the Indian Prime Minister, and this is something that he does every single day. I was speaking to some of the officials in the Prime Minister's close team, and they were talking about how no matter what happens, he tries to ensure that he manages to get some serious amount of time on the yoga mat almost every day. And remember, here's a person who has a far more hectic, active routine than any of us. And Gaurav and I, even Akshita, I would assume, would slack off on the odd occasion after a long trip. He's very, very committed to yoga, committed to his exercise, and that's also probably why his level of enthusiasm stays as high as it is. A lot of people, without taking names, I see Dr. Jaishankar, the External Affairs Minister, right behind the Prime Minister. He would be joining the Prime Minister in the yoga routine as well. So, just the fact that he has this very active physical exercise routine on a daily basis also ensures that he has the energy required to maintain the kind of schedule that he does, and that's really a part, and that's also one of the reasons why he's doing it, is also part of the message the Prime Minister, Gaurav, is trying to send to people, that this is what you need to do to stay active, to stay healthy, to ensure that every single morning you wake up with the same level of enthusiasm. You want to hit the road, you want to face the world in that same upbeat fashion. So there he is, the Prime Minister at this moment, walking to the dais, and the International Day of Yoga here at the United Nations headquarters about to begin in moments from now, Gaurav.
Oh, absolutely. So physical fitness, mental fitness, emotional fitness, and spiritual upliftment. Yoga is for overall improvement of body, mind and soul. The Prime Minister believes in it, practices it, and is encouraging the world to benefit from India's heritage, Rahul, taking forward the principle, the theme of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, one earth, one family, one future.
And also wearing, Gaurav, his Indianness and our culture on his sleeves. I mean, yoga has been around for the longest time, but the manner in which it's being propagated, pushed out, amplified, I think that really is what is different, because that is something the Prime Minister is very unabashed about. Others may have not necessarily been apologetic, but others may have been doing this in their own time, in their own space. The Prime Minister, in the manner in which he's doing this yoga routine live on television here at the United Nations headquarters, and even in the way he's been trying to build the buzz around yoga, wants this as an extension of India's soft power to seep into people's head, and for people to start very, very openly, and we're very proud of what they're doing. And even amongst the Indian people that we see, the people who've come here for the Yoga Day celebration, some of them may have been doing yoga earlier as well. They're just more proud about the fact that it's now a really big deal, and the Prime Minister is speaking about it, that others are speaking about it, and that's something that makes them feel good about themselves and about our country and everything that our country stands for. Just the Indianness, which was earlier, just kept very reserved, or largely kept reserved, now much more out there across the world stage, and that's really a fantastic thing, Gaurav.
Rahul, as we beam these images of the Prime Minister from just moments ago, walking in, you can see him waving to all of the people who have gathered, paid a floral tribute at the bust of Mahatma Gandhi, making his way now also to the venue where he'll be performing yoga on a dais, we're being told, along with the thousands of people who have gathered there. A question that I asked you, Rahul, when we lost your signal was, how excited is America about this particular event?
Well, there are people from different countries who are here, and as I said, these are people who seem to have a deep connection with yoga, because I mean, of course, a lot of the Indians who are here, partly here just because the Prime Minister is here and they want to be here because it's an exciting place for Indians to be, but a lot of the people from other countries who are here. I see the Prime Minister now out on the stage. A warm round of applause for him as he's getting set for the International Day of Yoga to start, but a lot of the people from other countries who are here, Akshata, are people who actually have a very deep connection with yoga. I remember the first International Day of Yoga, we were at Rajpath, the Prime Minister leading the Yoga Day celebrations over there, and people from different countries who are here are definitely seeming to be very, very deeply, genuinely connected, because that's also why they'd wake up early in the morning and come. A lot of the Indians are here because it's like one big Indian party and they're happy to be here, but the others who are here because they are serious yoga practitioners. In America, yoga at this moment is a $16 billion industry. And it's growing very fast. Some of the people who came here who own yoga studios who we spoke to said, you know, it's a really hot business, and according to them, seems to be growing really fast.
None other than the Honorable Prime Minister of India.
So live images that we're showing to you right now from the United Nations North Lawns. Let's in fact cut across live. Let's try to listen into what's happening there.
To have with us today none other than the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi ji, a distinguished world leader and an ardent yoga practitioner. I'd like to remind everyone that it is Prime Minister Modi ji himself back in December 2014 who introduced the idea of establishing World Yoga Day to the UN General Assembly. A record number of 175 member states recognized yoga's universal appeal and adopted the landmark resolution proclaiming June 21 as International Yoga Day, the day of the summer solstice here in the north. So every 21 of June is World Yoga Day. This day provides people everywhere across the globe, all of us and everyone watching, an opportunity to reflect upon the countless benefits of practicing yoga. Indeed, an invaluable gift in the world from India's ancient tradition. We thank the Honorable Prime Minister of India for this notable initiative, which is now celebrated worldwide with enthusiasm and vigor. I will now begin the official part of today's event by requesting Ambassador Ruchira Kamboj, India's permanent representative to the United Nations, to the stage to deliver her opening remarks.
Honorable Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi ji, Mr. President of the General Assembly, Madam Deputy Secretary General, Mr. Mayor, distinguished ambassadors, distinguished guests, and all my dear friends and colleagues from this wonderful audience. Today's celebration is indeed very, very special. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will lead us in doing yoga here at the United Nations lawns. To put matters in perspective, it was under his leadership and under his guidance that 21st June was declared as International Yoga Day, and it is only fitting, therefore, that the inspiration behind the idea is with us today in this scenic, multicultural setting of the United Nations. Ladies and gentlemen, it is truly beautiful to see so many around the world gather in solidarity for yoga. It is not living with the burden of weight or the lightness of oblivion. It is a choice made with balance, an idiosyncratic beauty, timeless throughout the progress of humanity. Yoga has endured. It is truth beyond articulation, wisdom beyond time. I hope all of you will cherish 21st June this year and put it close to your hearts, today and forever. Thank you.
Thank you, Ambassador Cambodge, for your remarks. It's my turn now to invite the Honorable President of the UN General Assembly, Mr. Chaba Karoshi, for the stage.
Honorable Prime Minister, Madam Deputy Secretary General, Mr. Mayor, Madam Ambassador, dear friends, Namaste. Yoga is a way of uniting mind and body, and also the environment and us. The most memorable university lectures I attended as a student many years ago were on cultural traditions of ancient Eastern civilizations. They helped me understand that we are part of nature, despite regarding ourselves as aristocratically detached from other creatures. I also learned that the energies in the universe and inside us abide by the same law, a desire to achieve balance. Yoga changes our physical performance. But more importantly, it can spark in us different mental and intellectual performance. With the control that it teaches over ourselves, we learn how to make change and impact. Since that university lecture, I've been an admirer of yoga. I'm very proud of my daughter, who has already reached a high level of practice and is continuing her journey. Thanks to her, I understand better yoga's ethical guide. The guide, which includes the principle of non-stealing, non-greed, non-hoarding, and non-violence. In other words, yoga's ethical guide to living is a guide to sustainability. Not overusing resources that belong to all of us. Not prioritizing short-term gains over planetary boundaries. And working for transformation. Our world needs balance, peace, and justice. There are many ways to approach these aims. Yoga is one of the means, for which I have a special respect. I'm happy to be here with all of you today. But let me apologize in advance. I am not a yoga practitioner, and the positions which you will show might look very different from what I end up doing. Still, I'm here with an open heart and open mind. Thank you very much.
Thank you, President Karoshi, for highlighting the transformative power of yoga and in such a very personal way. At this time, I would now ask that Mayor Eric Adams, the mayor of the city of New York, please take the stage.
To Prime Minister Modi, to President of the General Assembly, to Deputy Secretary General, to Your Excellencies, to the ambassador, to all of you, do not miss the significance of this moment. New York City is the largest and most important city in America. As I stand before you as the mayor of that city, I share with you in a clear and a universal tone that we are no longer focused solely on the physical body, but the anatomy of our spirit. For far too long, we have separated what our needs are emotionally, spiritually, and physically. We are going to go to the root causes of that which troubles many of us, from how we interact, to the food we eat, to allowing our children to have breathing exercises in the morning as they start their school day, to challenge the mental health issues that's impacting us. But there's a larger challenge for all of us. What we do on the mat and practicing yoga must become what we do on the streets and in our countries. We cannot become universally connected through the yellow mats we lay on, but disconnected as we move through our communities. Use the spirit and emotions of yoga to challenge and fight against war, to fight against gender oppression, to fight against violence, to fight against the lack of clean water, to fight against the food insecurity, to fight against the destruction of our planet. Our connectivity is not only how we're connected to our families and our parents. We have two mothers. One gave birth to us and one sustains us. Yoga keeps us connected to both mothers and connected to each other. This International Yoga Day is an international call for us to stand up for humankind across the globe and all living beings. I'm proud to be here, and I'm proud to symbolically represent this city as stating the International Yoga Day is an international call that we will be a leader here in New York City, as you are a leader in your own environments. Thank you for allowing me to rejoice with you today.
Thank you, Mayor Adams, for spotlighting how yoga is integral to the anatomy of one's spirit. We appreciate that perspective and input. I'd like now to go to the video message of the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres, who is not available to be with us in person, but is here in spirit. Please let us go to the videotape.
Happy International Day of Yoga. I want to recognize Prime Minister Modi for all he has done to promote understanding of yoga and its many benefits. Yoga unites. It unites body and mind, humanity and nature, and millions of people across the globe for whom it is a source of strength, harmony, and peace. In a dangerous and divided world, the benefits of this ancient practice are particularly precious. Yoga offers a haven of calm. It can reduce anxiety and promote mental well-being. It helps us to develop discipline and patience. It connects us to our planet, which so badly needs our protection. And it reveals our common humanity, helping us to understand that despite our differences, we are one. On this International Day of Yoga, let us embrace the spirit of unity and resolve to build a better, more harmonious world for people, planet, and ourselves.
Friends, it is one of the deepest honors and privileges of my life to extend a heartfelt welcome. A heartfelt welcome and an invitation to no one else but the Honorable Prime Minister of India, Modi ji. I ask that on this auspicious occasion that he join us and that he address us with his remarks. Let us give him a very, very warm welcome.
Thank you. Your Excellency Chaba Koroshi, President of UN General Assembly, Her Excellency Amina Mohammed, Deputy Secretary General of the Union, His Excellency Eric Adams, Mayor of New York, and my dear friends from all over the world. Namaskar. Friends, on this fine morning, we are gathered here at the United Nations, at the meeting point of entire humanity. In this wonderful city of New York, I know many of you have come here from far away. Most of you have woken up before sunrise and made the effort to come here. I'm delighted to see you all, and I thank you all for coming. Friends, I'm told that almost every nationality is represented here today. And what an amazing cause to bring us all together, yoga. Yoga means to unite. So your coming together is an expression of another form of yoga. I remember about 9 years ago, right here at the UN, I had the honor to propose celebrating the International Day of Yoga on 21st June. It was wonderful to see the entire world come together to support the idea back then. I've just paid respect to the brave UN peacekeepers. In 2015, I had called for a new memorial to be built at the UN in their memory. And last week, the whole world joined hands with India to make this reality soon. As the largest troop contributing nation, we are grateful to all nations for their expression of support to this noble cause. Last year, the entire world came together to support India's proposal to celebrate 2023 as the International Year of Millets. Millets are a superfood. They promote holistic health and are good for environment too. And today, it is wonderful to see the entire world come together again for yoga. Friends, yoga comes from India, and it is a very old tradition. But like all ancient Indian traditions, it is also living and dynamic. Yoga is free from copyright free from patents, and free from royalty payments. Yoga is adaptable to your age, gender, and fitness level. Yoga is portable. You can do it at home or at work or in transit. Yoga is flexible. You can practice it alone or in a group, learn from a teacher or be self-taught. Yoga is unifying. It is for everyone, for all ethnicities, for all faiths, and for all cultures. Yoga is truly universal. Friends, when we do yoga, we feel physically fit, mentally calm, and emotionally content. But it is not just about doing exercise on a mat. Yoga is a way of life, a holistic approach to health and well-being, a way to mindfulness in thoughts and actions, a way to live in harmony with self, with others, and with nature. I am delighted that many of you are working on scientifically validating different aspects of yoga. Indeed, this is the way. Friends, I know you are all keen to get started. Well, so am I. I want to thank the United Nations for hosting us here today. I am grateful to the mayor and the city of New York for all their help and support in making this event success. And most of all, want to thank you all once again for being here today. Let us use the power of yoga not only to be healthy, happy, but also to be kind to ourselves and to each other. Let us use the power of yoga to build bridges of friendship, a peaceful world, and a cleaner, greener, and sustainable future. Let us join hands together to realize the goal of one earth, one family, one future. I conclude with a wish. Sarve bhavantu sukhinah, sarve santu niramaya. May everyone be happy. May everyone be healthy. Thank you.
Thank you, Prime Minister Modi ji, for conveying such an inspirational message to us, for elaborating more about our theme, Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, and stressing how yoga is really a way of life. At this time, I request that our esteemed dignitaries please leave the stage and join us below for the yoga lesson, because we would like to start that soon. You may... Friends, I'm now going to call upon yoga instructor Miss Annalise Richmond so that she can join on the stage.
Very important message from Prime Minister Narendra Modi. Yoga for a peaceful world. Yoga for health. Yoga for happiness. Very message, important message, Akshita. A message that actually takes India's culture, India's history, India's heritage to the world. And there is no patent on this. The Prime Minister said you can practice yoga anywhere, at home, in office, or elsewhere. It's flexible. Do it at your own time.
Very true. Beautiful, beautiful message of unity, of inclusivity from the Prime Minister, where he's highlighted that at that particular platform, at that particular event where he is, you've got almost every single nation being represented, and yet everyone being brought together by yoga. And that highlights for you what really yoga has done to the world, the impact it has on one's physical and mental health, and how it's got, this effect of healing. And that's the message that the Prime Minister is also sending out. Amid conflict, amid disagreements, yoga is that one unifying factor. So a message and a speech, I'm sure, that resonates with every single person across the world. And he's also made it a point, Gaurav, to talk with great, great pride about how yoga comes from India, about how it has its roots in India, about ancient civilization, ancient culture coming from India that's been embraced by the world. And look at those pictures now, the Prime Minister in the midst of that crowd, all set to perform yoga.
Absolutely. This is India's philosophy being taken to the world. Sarve bhavantu sukhina, sarve santu niramaya, sarve bhadrani pashyantu, ma kasyat dukh bhat bhaved. He's making this very clear. This is actually something that the United Nations stands for. I want to cut across to Rahul Kanwal as this event starts. Rahul, describe to us what's happening on ground and the enthusiasm of the people on ground.
All enter into the world yoga together.
They just brought some yoga mats for all the journalists at the back, saying, "Aap bhi yoga kar lo, aap aise khade kyun ho?" So obviously, the enthusiasm is catching on. They're just getting set for the yoga routine to start. We just heard from the President of the United Nations General Assembly that he doesn't do yoga, says, "Don't go by my form." I think many people would feel the same, that they're here in spirit, they're here in mind, they're here because they want to be a part of the International Yoga Day celebrations. The sun also now out. Is rather windy and chilly this morning when we came in, but now it's just the perfect setting as the yoga practitioners, 6 youngsters and the lead practitioner beginning the International Yoga Day celebrations here. And the Prime Minister, full of enthusiasm, he's gone and parked himself in the middle of the park, and he is now joining at least a couple of thousand people here at the United Nations headquarters as the International Yoga Day starts right in front of us. Gaurav. We're doing some breathing exercises to begin with, and then soon after, some of the more physical exercises will start as well.
Pointed out, Rahul, that the Prime Minister is right there in the midst of that crowd at taking part in the yoga. Let's cut across live right now to what's happening.
Sangachadvam samvadadvam samvo manamsi janatam deva bhagam yatha purve sanyanana upasate sanyanana upasate Sanyanana upasate.
Let's relax our hands in our lap. And when you feel ready, you can gently open your eyes. We'll start our yoga sadhana, our yoga practice, with some loosening exercises to increase the circulation in the body. So let's stand up. We'll start in Samasthiti, alert posture. So the feet 2 to 3 inches apart from each other in parallel. Stand with the spine tall And let's bring our hands onto our waist. We'll do neck exercises first. Be careful in case of any neck injuries or cervical spondylitis here. Let's inhale, stretch the spine. Exhale, bring the chin to the chest as much as you can, all the way to the chest. Inhale, raise the head back up. Exhale, let the chin and head fall back, face to the sky. Inhale, head to the center. Exhale, chin to the chest. Relax. Inhale, bring the head back to the center. Exhale, let the head go back, stretching the front of the neck. And one more time, inhale to the center. Exhale, chin to the chest. Stretch the back of the neck. Inhale the head to the center. You can smile. And exhale, let the head go back gently. Open the throat and chest. Inhale back to the center. Relax. Good. Keeping the hands on the waist, we'll twist the neck from right to left. Be careful not to jerk the neck. Let's inhale, stand tall. Exhale, turn the chin over the right shoulder. Look all the way over to the right. Feel the stretch in the left side of the neck. Inhale back to the center. Smile. Exhale, the chin over the left shoulder. Feel the stretch in the right side of the neck. Good. Inhale back to the center. And exhale, chin over the right shoulder. Look as far as you can with the eyes. Inhale, back to the center. Breathe in. Exhale, chin over the left shoulder. Look to the left. Good. Inhale, come back to the center. And exhale, relax. Good. Now we'll do trunk twisting to warm up the body and spine. Be careful of any spinal injuries in this warm-up. So let's bring the feet 1 foot apart. Feet in parallel in Samastiti, alert posture. Back is tall. Inhale, take the arms out in front of you, hands parallel to each other. Exhale, keep the hips where they are. Turn just the upper body to the right. Left palm towards the right shoulder. Look to the right. Good. Inhale, come back to the center. Palms facing each other. Exhale, twist just the upper body to the left. Palm facing the left shoulder. Good. Inhale, come back. Looking forward, palms facing each other. Exhale, twist just the upper body to the right. Look to the right. Left palm to the right shoulder. Good. Inhale, come back to the center. And exhale, twist just the upper body to the left. Right palm towards the left shoulder. Good. Inhale, come back to the center. You can smile. Exhale, relax. Good. Now let's start our yoga asanas, or yoga postures. We'll start with Tadasana, the palm tree posture. If you have any arthritis in the lower extremities, don't raise up onto your ankles in this posture. So for Tadasana, we'll start in Samastiti, feet 2 to 3 inches apart from each other. And inhale, raise the arms up to shoulder height. Exhale, clasp the fingers and push the palms away from you. Good. Inhale, raise the arms up. Exhale here, lengthen the spine. Inhale, come up onto the toes and breathe here. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, grow taller. And breathe out, slowly lower down the feet. Unclasp the hands slowly with awareness on the body. Lower the arms down slowly. Good. And relax. And now again, let's bring the feet 2 to 3 inches apart. Samastiti, alert posture. We'll take a back bend. If you have any vertigo or back injuries, be careful with this pose. So Ardha Chakrasana, the half wheel posture. Let's take the hands to the waist. Inhale, grow tall. Exhale, slide the fingers back to support the back, elbows in parallel behind the back. Inhale, let the head go back, opening the front of the neck. As you exhale, Bend from the lumbar spine. Go back carefully and easily, as far back as you can. And let's breathe here. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and out. Awareness on the whole body. Breathe in and breathe out. Good. Inhale, lift the chest, come back up. Slowly. Good. And exhale, relax. Good. We'll take a forward bend. Pada Hastasana, the hands to the feet posture. So keeping the feet in parallel, 2 to 3 inches apart from each other. Inhale, take the arms up from the front, all the way up. And exhale, bending only from the hip joint. Keep the legs straight. Start to reach forward. Stretch your fingertips forward till your body is like a table parallel to the ground. And now slowly lower the fingertips down. Either bring the hands to the shins or fingertips to the ground, or the palms on the ground if you can. Drop your head towards your knees. Let's take a few deep breaths. Breathe in and breathe out. Keep the legs straight. Breathe in. As you breathe out, head towards the knees. Breathe in. Breathe out. Go a little further. Breathe in and breathe out. Good. Inhale, slide the fingertips forward, stretch the arms forward, let the back come up with the arms. Breathe in slowly, come all the way up. Smile. Good, and relax. Excellent. And we'll go to the floor. You can just stretch the legs out in front of you. Put your hands behind your back in a relaxed posture. Let the head go back a little. Vishramasana. This is our relaxation pose. And now let's bring the feet together, toes pointing up to the sky, hands beside the hips, spine tall. Tadasana. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Good. Exhale, press the hips into the ground. And now we'll do Bhadrasana, the firm posture. So be careful in this posture in case of sciatica or arthritis. Let's inhale, bring the feet together, soles of the feet together. Exhale, wrap your hands around your feet. Good. Inhale, sit tall. And exhale, pull the heels as close as you can to the perineum. Relax. If you like, you can even close your eyes here. Breathe in. Exhale, let the knees drop towards the ground. Inhale. And exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Breathe into the whole body. Breathe in. And breathe out. Good. Gently stretch the legs back out. Put the hands behind your back. Recline back just a little. Again, Vishramasana. Let the head fall back a little. Good. And again, we'll come into Dandasana. The toes pointing up, hands beside the hips. Press down into the ground a little. Lengthen the spine. Breathe in. Exhale. We'll come into Vajrasana, the diamond pose. Be careful of this pose in case of ankle or knee injuries. Let's inhale, bring the right heel towards the right buttocks. Exhale. Inhale, left heel towards the left buttocks. Place the buttocks in the space between the toes and the heels. Hands on the knees. And you can gaze softly downwards or close the eyes. Let's take a few deep breaths with the awareness on the whole body. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. One more breath. Breathe in and breathe out. And when you feel ready, you can open the eyes. Good. We'll take a back bend. We'll take the half camel posture, Ardha Ustrasana. Let's inhale, come up onto our knees. Ooh, that's a relief, isn't it? Okay, and let's bring our hands onto our lower back. Be careful in this pose in case of vertigo or any spinal injuries. So let's inhale here. Bring the elbows towards each other behind the back. Let the head fall back. And exhale, bend backwards from the upper back, arching backwards. Chest to the sky. Breathe in, breathe out. Let the head fall back easily. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. One more time. Breathe in and out. Inhale, come back up slowly with awareness on the whole body. Good. Exhale, gently relax. Good. Now we'll bend forward. So we'll take Shashakasana, the hare posture. So be careful in case of osteoarthritis of the knees. You can come out of this posture. Yeah? Inhale, open the knees. Exhale, let's put the hands between the legs. Inhale, lengthen your spine. And exhale, slide forward gently and slowly, all the way, keeping the arms in parallel with each other. Bring the chin to the ground if you can, and relax the whole body. If the chin doesn't want to touch the ground, bring the forehead to the ground and relax. Breathe into your hips, breathe in, breathe out. Deep breath in, breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. One more gentle breath in and out. Good. Inhale, come back up slowly with awareness on the whole body. Breathe in. Exhale, close the knees. Good. And we'll take the stretched up frog posture, Uttana Madhukasana. So inhale, let's take the knees to the side. Again, if this is bothering your knees, you can sit in a different position for this. Yeah. Inhale, take the arms up from the front, stretch the spine, smile, and exhale, bend from the elbows only, the palms onto alternate shoulder blades. Right palm on the left shoulder blade, left palm on the right shoulder blade. See if you can keep the chin parallel to the earth. And let's take a few deep breaths. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe into the chest. Notice the chest is opening. Breathe in. Breathe out. You can smile. Breathe in and breathe out. Good. Inhale, raise the arms up. Good. Exhale, relax. And you can close the knees. And the moment you've been waiting for, let's slide down onto our mat on our stomach. Come all the way down, make a pillow with the hands. Turn your head to the right side. Take your feet 2 feet apart or so. Let them splay out to the side. Turn the head, put it onto the hands. Makarasana, crocodile pose. You're like a crocodile resting in the sun. Let the breath relax. Good. Now bring the legs together. Take the arms out in front of you. You can have them resting on the ground. We'll do Bhujangasana, cobra pose. Be careful of this pose in case of hernia or any abdominal injuries. Inhale, bring the hands underneath the shoulders, elbows close to the body. Exhale here. And inhale, lift the head, chin, chest, upper chest until the navel. And breathe here. Deep breath in. Breathe out. Relax the shoulders. Push them down and back. Breathe in. And breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. One more breath in. Come a little higher. And exhale, slowly lower down. Again, make the pillow with the hands. Turn the head this time to the left side. Legs apart. Makarasana on the other side. Crocodile pose. Resting in the sun. Let the breath relax. Now gently, let's turn onto our backs. Gently roll to the back. Relax. And we'll do Pavan Muktasan, the wind-freeing posture. So inhale, bring the knees up. Exhale, bring the knees to the chest, towards the chest. Inhale, clasp the fingers together, place them on the shins, wrap the arms around the legs. Exhale, bring the forehead towards the knees until the chin or nose touches the knees. Breathe in and breathe out. Deep breaths. Awareness on the whole body. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. One more breath. Breathe in and exhale. Release the head down. Relax the legs. Slide them down onto the ground. Let the legs be 1 to 2 feet apart. Let the toes fall out to the sides and the arms by your sides, palms facing up to the sky, relaxing the arms on the ground. Shavasana, or corpse pose. Relax the whole body. Become aware of the natural flow of the breath. And let's take our attention to our toes and feet, ankles, legs, knees, thighs, and hips, our abdomen, stomach, chest, shoulders, right arm and hand. Eyes are closed. Left arm and hand. The neck and the throat. The head and face. Eyes. The top of the head, the whole body, the whole body.
So as we watch these videos of the Shavasana, which is practically at the end of the day's yoga exercises, if you may call it that, I once again want to cut across and bring in Rahul Kanwal, India Today's news director, who is at the United Nations headquarters in New York. Rahul, are you also practicing yoga right now, like the thousands of people on a television screen?
Yeah, I mean, I actually went to grab something to eat, Gaurav. I've been talking since the morning and desperate to get some food. They've got some really nice Andhra food here, some millets thrown in as well. So I just went, as this yoga was happening, to grab just a very tiny bite to eat. No cheating, just to warm things up in my stomach. The International Day of Yoga going on, Gaurav, in full earnest, a high level of enthusiasm. And the interesting thing is people are, here with so many different levels of expertise. There are some who are very serious, hardcore yoga practitioners, and they're doing this, everything down to the T, very perfect, their posture. And then there are those who are not being able to turn, not being able to move, but they're just here in spirit, having fun, being a part of this moment. So what if their asanas aren't anywhere close to what they should be? They're still having a great time. They're still a part of this emotion and this experience, and they're just and I can see, I was just walking around as I was grabbing some breakfast, speaking to some officials from the government. Look at the seriousness with which the Prime Minister is doing this. For some people who are here, this is an experience, a morning out in June to be a part of the International Yoga Day. But look at the intensity with which the Prime Minister is doing this. And in some ways, to me at least, this is reflective, Gaurav, also about the level of intensity he brings, everything that he does, and the kind of focus that he puts. Nothing is casual, nothing is just easy, nothing is time pass or chalta hai or aise he's bringing a lot of serious effort to this. He made a small, very short speech building up to the International Yoga Day and said, I don't want to take too much time because I want to get straight to the yoga. And even now, with his eyes shut, deeply immersed, sitting one amongst the crowd and taking every single instruction, taking every single yoga asana very, very seriously, reflective of the man, reflective of the approach that he brings to every single thing, whether it's a meeting later in the evening at the White House, whether it is being out in the lawns of the United Nations headquarters, a certain intensity of purpose, commitment and seriousness which this man brings to everything that he does and touches.
True, and we're beaming those images also of the Prime Minister taking part in that yoga session. Rahul, let's just for a brief moment also focus on the message that the Prime Minister put forth to the world from that platform. Beautiful message of unity, of inclusivity that he sent out to the world, saying that yoga is one cultural practice that essentially unites the world amid conflict, amid strife.
Close it with the big finger and exhale at the right nostril.
And the fact that there is no patent, there is no IPR, there is no one who stopped from doing this. It's completely free and it's easy to pick up. And that really is India's cultural gift to the world, and a gift which is being given very with a lot of passion, a lot of energy by the Prime Minister and by the others who've joined him here at the International Day of Yoga. So this is part of the soft power of India, which the Prime Minister is very proud of, and because of the manner in which the Prime Minister is putting his message out there, a lot of Indians, if we'd spoken to them more than 10 years ago, maybe they wouldn't have been quite as enthusiastic, or maybe they wouldn't have been quite as vocal in their enthusiasm for yoga, but it's just become the it thing to do, the more fashionable thing to do, and they're wearing their yoga mats and their yoga pajamas with pride.
This actually perhaps also, brings about a change in their life. Chaba Korosi, Rahul, the United Nations General Assembly President, he spoke of the importance of yoga, and it's very heartening, isn't it, to hear it from people across 7 seas about how it brought a positive change in their lives and the lives of their loved ones, Rahul.
When you feel ready, gently and slowly open your eyes.
Osho, and he also said that I don't do yoga every day, but I'm here in body and spirit. When we spoke to Richard Gere this morning, just as he was heading in, he too said, I'm more of a Tai Chi person than a yoga person. But once you become a part of an experience, yoga touches your life and in some ways enters your soul, enters your being. And then you have the opportunity later, if you wish to pursue this more seriously, that's something that you can always pick up. So it really is something, a day like this, a morning out like this really, helps you touch base with yoga and leaves you with the option of wanting to pick this up. So I think a lot of the people who are here, I was just joking with some of the officials who were standing around on the side ki bhai aap bhi kar lo, PM itna seriously kar rahe hain. They're like no, and they're struggling to cope. This is something that I find virtually every single time when you talk to people around the Prime Minister, just the kind of schedule he keeps. And these are people, remember, who are not in those meetings. They're people outside just bringing the schedule together, helping move the wheel along. They're huffing and puffing and panting, whereas the man in the middle, he's doing his yoga, he'll get out of here, go to Washington DC, run a full schedule. Maybe some of the officials around him should be doing yoga with the kind of intensity and purpose that their boss is.
Very true. And you're right in saying that many of them may not be professional or for that matter practicing yoga on a daily basis. Like Richard Gere, I think he's seated right next to the Prime Minister there while being part of that yoga session. But they're there in spirit. They're there to show their solidarity, their support for a practice that's loved and practiced by millions and billions across the world, really. As we get here those live images, you can see the crowds, all of them chanting Om together. That's the sheer power of that, Rahul, the sheer power of everyone coming together to chant Om. That sends out a message to the world of where yoga really emerges and stems from. Yes, the Prime Minister said it's patent-free, it's royalty-free, but there's nowhere in the world that people today don't recognize that yoga comes from India.
Will be practicing.
Oh, absolutely. And earlier there used to be qualms in the West about whether, Om is something they should be chanting or not. But we're not really seeing that here, at least the International Day of Yoga. It's very much an integral part of the yoga routine. And even if they don't fully understand, where it comes from and why, etc., it's something which people are very happy to do, be a part of. And they're here as much to experience, listening very intently to the lead yogini as she takes them through these rituals and practices. And again, as I see this, there's some people who are doing this with a very high level of finesse, and you can see very clearly that these are people who take their yoga very seriously. And there are some people who are struggling, getting themselves into all kinds of awkward positions as they try and do this yoga, but their level of enthusiasm almost as high as those who practice this on a continuing basis. And yes, of course, then there are all the Instagram selfies. You can't be here if you're on the launch. You have to be in the gram, and there are lots of those going on as well.
Very, very interesting. Yoga actually, Rahul, takes forward the message that the United Nations seeks to convey. Clean environment, green environment, sustainable world, yoga for a peaceful world. Prime Minister Narendra Modi spoke of all of this. Be kind to yourself, be kind to each other. That's actually, if that were to happen, there would be no conflict, Rahul. The United Nations would be able to do yoga more often.
As they are.
Oh, absolutely, because yoga ultimately isn't just a set of physical exercises or mental routines. It's also a whole way of life, and the Prime Minister spoke about that, about inclusivity, about being one with nature, about being sustainable, and it's the whole 360, the package that comes with it, which in some ways the Prime Minister tries to bring out as the Indian way of life, not always quite as sustainable or eco-friendly as we'd like it to be, but at least the idea of wanting to be sustainable, the idea of wanting to be eco-friendly, and trying to create awareness around those ideas, that by itself very significant. And that again is one of the key messages the Prime Minister is looking to send out by being part of the International Day of Yoga here at the UN. Gaurav and Akshita.
Right, and as we continue getting you all of those images of all the asanas that are being performed one after another there by the Prime Minister and everyone else who's gathered. What also came to my mind, Rahul, when we watched that whole ceremony play out and you had those speeches, those addresses by the New York City mayor, by the UNGA chief, is how they all hailed yoga's impact on mental health, on physical health. They also made it a point, repeatedly reiterating how thankful and honored they are to have Prime Minister Modi in their midst.
Again, become aware of your
Oh, absolutely. And in that sense, he has chosen for himself the role of global ambassador for yoga. a role that he virtually created. This International Day of Yoga didn't really exist in the way that it does now. It's something that the Prime Minister started doing when he came to power. And I remember the conversation that Geeta Mohan, our Foreign Affairs editor, had with Syed Akbaruddin, who was India's permanent representative at that time. And he spoke about how there was massive consensus in countries ordinarily opposed to India who were wanting that this become the International Day of Yoga, who were equally enthusiastic in wanting to propagate it, and therefore it's not something which was witnessing a pushback. I mean, here I'd love to see, as would everyone watching at this time, India to be a member of the United Nations Security Council, an idea that we've been talking about, an idea that doesn't seem to find any traction or make any headway. That's far more fraught and complicated, but something like Yoga Day receiving wide acceptability, and in fact that comes through in the number of and the number of countries that are represented here at the UN, all of whom wanting to be a part of the International Day of Yoga, and in that sense bringing out the true global nature of yoga. It may be an export from India, it may have no IPR, it may have no copyright, but an export that India is very proud of, and an export that's being lapped up, not just in New York, but across the world.
All right, our continuous coverage coming in from New York City. Rahul Kavala, news director, bringing you a minute-to-minute update. Let's, for just about 2 minutes, dip in. Chants of Om resonating in the UN headquarters in New York.
Take a deep breath in and breathe out.
Winding down right now. Can you give us a sense of what's the final chants of Om? Is the session winding down?
And breathe out. Become aware of your whole body.
See that?
You're seated on the earth.
All right, once
and breathe
it seems
out.
The asanas are over, and now the breathing exercises where yoga is concerned are taking place. We're going to once again cut across to Rahul Kavala, news director, who's getting us the very latest coming in from the UN headquarters. A sense of peace is, very palpable, Rahul. Has the session over, Rahul? Because the asana seeming to be over now, breathing exercises, chants of Om resonating.
Shanti, Shanti Om, everyone. We're here
Like,
what an United Nations headquarters.
you know, the Yoga Day celebration here in New York winding down, and we're now on the lawns as everyone just gets set to complete this Yoga Day routine. Ma'am, can I get a word in? You enjoyed the Yoga Day celebration?
Yes, it was wonderful. It was truly touching to be here with the Prime Minister as well.
What was the highlight for you?
I think the last moment when we all came together.
Fantastic. Thank you. Let's just go and try and speak to some of the people. This celebration, you enjoyed the Yoga Day celebration?
Beautiful. Just even though it was a short session, it was just so relaxing and shows the beauty of yoga.
Super, thank you. Come, we're just going to go slightly in front and see if we can get a word in with some of the people who are here at the Yoga Day celebrations, as there's some lovely Andhra breakfast. There's some millet there, there's some upma, everybody gets treated to wonderful filter coffee and a very nice sumptuous Andhra breakfast on the back of yoga. So not just you get to see Indian culture being practiced through the yoga, but also have the option of now digging into some interesting breakfast. We're going to try and see if we can get a little further. At some point in time, the security is going to have a problem, but till it doesn't, we're just going to keep walking. Come, let's see if we can get too close to where the PM is.
The Honorable Prime Minister.
The Prime Minister there.
Participants.
Let's see, there he is.
May I ask
Prime Minister Modi just wrapping up the International Yoga Day celebration, and let's see if we can get any close. Hello, I'm very well.
Good, guys.
see you in DC, Ricky?
Yeah, I'm going to be in DC.
You did the yoga seriously, or you were not doing it very seriously?
No, I was doing it as seriously as I could.
Okay, great. I'm just going to try and see if we can get somewhere close to where the Prime Minister is. So a lot of people trying to get as close as is possible to Prime Minister Narendra Modi as he wraps up
Friends, may I ask that you
the Yoga
remain
Day
seated
celebration.
at your yoga mats, please.
There he is walking out. Remember, he was right in the middle, meeting, greeting people.
Meets and mingles with some people.
He's meeting people.
Excuse me, can you move, please?
Fine.
Can you move, please? Please.
Excellencies and friends, I have some incredible news to share. A Guinness World Record is created today. Today we have gone for a Guinness World Record now in the books. It's a world record for the most
Namaste.
nationalities in a yoga lesson.
Happy Yoga Day, sir.
The most nationalities and a yoga lesson. Congratulations to all of us for being part of this historic event.
That's Prime Minister Narendra Modi walking past the India Today cameras with his Namaste.
Formal proceeding. I'd like to have the Guinness World
People have
Record
messages that they've brought for him. He's carrying those messages with him.
To the stage. I'm going to ask people to please remain at your mats. Please allow His Excellency, the Prime Minister,
He's meeting everyone.
the ability to
People have
return
messages
to
they're
the
giving to
stage.
him. He's
He is here
happily
mingling
accepting
with
those
you.
messages.
Mr. Emperor, I'd like to call you to the stage now.
In a short while from now, Prime Minister Modi will be heading to the airport from where he leaves for Washington, D.C., where the official leg of his U.S. visit starts. That's the state visit leg that the Prime Minister will be a part of. Let's see if we can get back to Richard Gere. Just 1 second.
Step back. Step back. Step back, please. Stop. Please step back. Step back. Step back, all of you.
That's Prime Minister Narendra Modi going out on the stage.
Step back. Step back, please. Step back, please. Please step back. All of you, please step back. Step back. Modi.
We love you.
Modi ji, we love you.
Modi ji, you should be Prime Minister to the very end.
Modi ji, we love you.
You are the legend in the world of politics. In our long history, we have never seen a great leader like you.
A lot of the people here reaching out, waving out to the Prime Minister, trying to get a word in.
Thank you.
Hello, everyone. So my name is Michael Emprick from Guinness World Records in New York City. This was an official Guinness World Records attempt today for most nationalities in a yoga lesson. This was and the mark to beat was 114.
So we just
your place is back on the plaza.
So we just heard that there's some Guinness Book of World Record that's been broken. The gentleman over there is from the Guinness Book of World Record.
You had 135 nationalities. It's a new Guinness World Records title. I'd like to present this certificate to the permanent representative of India. Please come up. Congratulations, you are officially amazing. Great job.
I know, don't worry.
Okay. Hello, everyone. So my name is Michael Emprick from Guinness World Records in New York City. This was an official Guinness World Records attempt today from most nationalities in a yoga lesson. This was an existing record, and the mark to beat was 114 nationalities. That was set in Qatar in 2022.
135 nationalities represented here at the United Nations lawns, and that they've just broken Guinness Book of World Record.
Please I would request
So this turning out to be a historic day.
I appreciate your kind understanding and cooperation. I'd like to make a few announcements. We will have a photo opportunity now of some of the youngsters. Please, if you may, please stay at your seat at your yoga mat.
Rahul, you take a selfie. Excellent.
Seat at your yoga mat.
I'm going to get a picture.
All right, it seems India, a world record was also broken today at the UN headquarters. The Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi, receiving a lot of children there who were part of different nationalities. Over 134 nationalities today practiced yoga together through this session. And it's historic. Not just the fact that the Prime Minister led the 9th International Yoga Day at the UN headquarters, but also historic because now it will go down into the annals of world record history. A world record was created at the UN headquarters just about 20 minutes ago, where for 1 hour over 134 nationalities together practiced yoga. You can see the Prime Minister there. We're going to play those visuals out. Children who participated in this event from different nationalities coming together on that dais, getting a picture taken with the Prime Minister. Understandably, a fair amount of excitement, not just the Indian diaspora, but now the international diaspora as well. The Prime Minister waving out a lot of Indians, palpable the sense of excitement, screaming out the Prime Minister's name, taking selfies while he's at the background. Understandably, there's a new fine print that is being introduced in the world of soft diplomacy, and I want to bring in our news director who's been reporting on the event through the course of this morning in New York City. Rahul Kanwal is back with us. Rahul, with all these visuals that we've seen with what's gone down in the last, couple of hours, a new fine print, a new language as well, slowly being introduced where soft diplomacy is concerned. And, the Prime Minister right now, the poster boy for it.
And waiting for you. Take plenty of photos as your...
Most nationalities and a yoga lesson. The mark to beat was 114, and today you had 135 nationalities. It's a new Guinness World Records title.
Fantastic. Thank you very much.
Great job. Yeah.
I see Richard Gere there. Let's see if we can go back and try and get a word in from Richard Gere. Mr. Gere, how was the Yoga Day celebration? Did you enjoy that?
Very much so.
What was the highlight for you? Are you going to be switching from Tai Chi to some yoga now?
Please feel free to take the yoga mats.
That's
They're
Richard
here
Gere
for you.
talking about enjoying
like
the
to take
yoga. Obviously, he was doing that yoga. It's not something which he did just as form. Or as courtesy. It's something that he obviously took very seriously, and at the end he seemed to have got a pretty decent workout as a result of what he was doing. Hello, how are you? It's great to see you. Enjoy the yoga day?
Yes.
Did you do it seriously or not so seriously?
No, seriously. Yes, I love that, Modi.
You came for the yoga or you came for the Prime Minister?
See, Prime Minister and yoga too.
Both, I guess. He came for the both. It was enjoyable. Very good memory. It was nice of him to grace us with his presence today.
Good to see you as well. You enjoyed the morning?
Yeah, we enjoyed this morning and this historic events. And it's good to see you also, Kamal.
Great to see you. Thank you.
So did you get your asanas?
Oh, I did. How are you, Sheilaji? It's nice to see you. So this is the bust of Mahatma Gandhi, where the Prime Minister came this morning. Key selfie point at this moment. Everybody's trying to get a picture in.
Come to meet you, sir.
Namaste. अच्छा लगा आपको आज का योगा?
आज का शो बहुत बढ़िया योगा डे मोदी जी ने बनाया. हमारे इंडिया का योगा है पूरे वर्ल्ड में फेमस हो गया. आज तो मोदी जी ने पूरा न्यूयॉर्क सिटी को एकदम एक्साइट कर दिया. मोदी जी ने तो पूरा इंडिया को पूरे वर्ल्ड में प्रेजेंट कर दिया है, एकदम जोर 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 से मोदी मोदी।
क्या सबसे खास था आज के दिन में आपके?
गुड। यहाँ का क्राउड इतना अच्छा था और इतना अच्छा मौसम था और इतने।
गिनीज बुक वाले से बात कर रहा था, वो कह रहे थे कि गिनीज बुक का रिकॉर्ड भी टूटा है।
हाँ, गिनीज बुक का रिकॉर्ड भी टूटा। वो बहुत प्राउड की मोमेंट है कि हमने उसमें कंट्रीब्यूट भी किया है उसके लिए, तो बहुत अच्छा लगा मोदी जी को पर्सनली मिलकर वैसे भी। तो इट वॉज अ रियली प्राउड मोमेंट फॉर इंडिया।
आप लोग मोदी है तो मुमकिन है, राहुल भी आज अमेरिका में है। वो टाइम था जब वो वीजा नहीं मिल रही थी, तब भी आप यहाँ पर थे, मुझे पता है।
आपको अच्छा लगा मॉर्निंग? क्या आपके लिए हाईलाइट क्या था आज का?
बहुत अच्छा लगा। इंडिया की जो इन्होंने किया है नाम, वो पूरे दुनिया में इन्होंने किया है, इसके सिवा कोई कर नहीं सकता। किसी में दम नहीं, मोदी है तो हम है।
हम लोग बहुत ही सोचते हैं, हम लोग आते हैं न्यूयॉर्क यूएस, कभी भी जेट लैग बहुत फील होता है। मोदी जी आए हैं तब से काम ही कर रहे हैं, उन्हें जेट लैग फील नहीं हो रहा है।
हम लोग जेट लैग्ड है लेकिन।
यस, हम सब बीइंग अ 28 ईयर मैन आई गेट जेट लैग, बट वो आए हैं, यॉन मस्क से मिल रहे हैं, इधर ये इवेंट कर रहे हैं। ही इज इनक्रेडिबल, ही इज इनक्रेडिबल।
Energy is like unbelievable.
No politician can match it.
Modi ji is promoting Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, oneness of all, uniting the whole country. He is the best leader we have. We are really extremely proud of Modi ji.
Great. Thank you. It's very nice to see you guys. We're just going to try and walk that side if we can. A lovely riverfront facade.
Welcome New York.
Hello.
It's
good
to be here.
Well, good.
Thank you.
Very good. Enjoy the morning.
आप यहाँ पे आए हो न्यूयॉर्क में, और वो भी हमारे बुजुर्ग। मैं हमेशा चाहूँगा कि मोदी जी को ऐसी भगवान शक्ति दे कि 100 साल पार कर जाए और प्राइम मिनिस्टर यही बने रहे, तो पूरी दुनिया के अंदर, ना कि खाली हिंदुस्तान में, पूरी दुनिया के अंदर ये शांति, अमन, चैन जो लोग जिसके लिए तरस गए थे, वो ये लेके आए। और हिंदुस्तानी चाहे कहीं पे भी जाए, वो मोदी एक अभी आइडेंटिटी ऐसे बन गए हैं, सबके बच्चा हो या बड़ा हो, बुजुर्ग हो, उनके मुंह में सिर्फ मोदी नाम है। पहले हम बोलते थे हम हिंदुस्तानी, अभी हम बोलते हैं मोदी है, मोदी है, मोदी है, तो मुमकिन है।
Okay, great. So the level of enthusiasm, as you can see, Preeti, very high amongst those who are here at the United Nations. Yeah, sure. So you enjoyed the morning?
Yes.
What was the highlight for you?
Best part is they broke 2 world records.
Yes.
One last year, one this year. That's a very big thing.
Oh, it is?
For yoga and especially.
Do you do
for
yoga ordinarily, or this is just something that you're doing for today?
I try to, but it's very difficult.
You can tell us the truth.
I try.
Okay.
At least on weekends.
No, which is good. And trying is all that matters. Ma'am, you had a good morning?
वेरी गुड मॉर्निंग राहुल जी, बहुत अच्छा लगा। एक सबसे बड़ी बात तो है कि आज एक और रिकॉर्ड हमारे उस जोली में आ गया है कि 135 देशों ने मिलकर योगा किया है, और हम बहुत ही ग्रेटफुल हैं मोदी जी के कि वो यहाँ आए और इतनी पूरी दुनिया में उन्होंने योगा की धूम मचा दी है। इससे पहले तो उतना कुछ नहीं होता था, लेकिन आज बच्चे भी चाहते हैं कि योगा करें और हेल्दी रहें, और ये बहुत ही प्लेजेंट टाइम है हम सबके लिए और बहुत ही खुशी का टाइम है। हमने बहुत एंजॉय किया योगा, मोदी जी को और स्पेशली यहाँ की सब पूरी कम्युनिटी को।
Okay, what was the highlight of the day for you?
बहुत ही अच्छा लगा। ऑसम डे, ऑसम मॉर्निंग विथ मोदी जी, एंड रियली वी आर ब्लेस्ड to have this morning. Beautiful. मोदी है तो मुमकिन है।
Yes. It also shows how the Prime Minister seems to have touched once again the lives of people who are here at New York. I'm going to walk across towards the waterfront. Nice orderly lines, and those lines now for some lovely Andhra breakfast that's been brought together by some volunteers, and they're all queuing up to try and ensure that they get some grub before they go back home. And they've come far distances. They've come from far and wide to be here at New York as part of the International Day of Yoga. This is at a time when the UN General Assembly isn't in order. Otherwise, so many people coming in and having so much leeway around the UN compound is not quite common, and therefore this is also a special moment for everyone who's here to be able to do. Okay, let me just try and go that side. So you
Modi. Namaste, namaste, namaste everyone.
थैंक यू। हम मैसेज देना चाहते हैं अपने भारतवासियों को कि मोदी जी को न्यूयॉर्क से टिकट दिलाया जाए, हम यहाँ से जिता के भेजेंगे उनको।
यहाँ से कैसे जिता देंगे?
यहाँ से जिता देंगे सर। याद देख रहे हो, भीड़ देख रहे हो, 5 लाख लोगों की भीड़।